wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí là wá lóye gbogbo àsìkò ti lọ kódà bọ́ba mi bá wà níbẹ̀ níjọ́ yẹn ni àbá kó sí wàhálà so adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìwà ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ ìwà ìfèèyàn tí àwọn ọba méjèèjì yẹn fi yé wa pé báwọn ṣe ga tó wọ́n ṣe ní ìtò wọ́n ṣe lọ́lá tó ẹgbẹ́ kan lè pè wọ́n pé kí wọ́n wá ṣe nǹkan fáwọn káwọn sì yọjú kí wọ́n sì dá wa lọ́lá fi mo tẹríba fún wọn mo kí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n mọ bàbá tó ṣaláìsí pé wọ́n kó àṣẹyìndè nǹkan ìlànà rí bára wa ṣe nǹkan rí náà ní kí ká máa rántí òdodo tí àwọn kan fi bá wa lò bá a ṣe mọ ẹ bá mi kí gbogbo ìdílé wọn pátápátá o lórúkọ Oòduà Foundation mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pé wọ́n kó àṣẹyìndè ọba kan nínú àwọn ọba wa o ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣeun Baba Adeboye. For the benefit of people who are just coming in, especially our English people, English spoken friends, we are taking the first section of this program to pay tribute to Olubadan of Ibadan land, Kábíyèsí Ajé Ògúngúnnísọ̀, who joined his ancestors today. I'm going to call Baba Magaji Gboyega Adejuma. Yoruba will say Oninkan Lade Ose. Magaji is Olóyè of Ibadan and is very, very close to Baba. Magaji ẹ dákun ẹ̀yin lè sọ Yorùbá dáadáa mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo ẹ̀ náà lẹ lè sọ. Ṣùgbọ́n tribute yìí èmi fi sọ́kàn pé ká ṣe ní Yorùbá torí tẹ́ bá ní mọ̀ kí wọ́n tẹ́ wọ́n mọ̀ kí wọ́n lédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ni. Ẹ dákun Magaji ẹ bá wa sọ ṣókí nípa bàbá lẹ́yìn ìgbà náà ṣé wọ́n ní mọ̀kànmọ̀kàn lóye Ìbàdàn oyè Ìbàdàn ìdíjà ṣáà ti mọ ẹlòmíì tí àti pé èyí ò tiẹ̀ kọ́ ni kókó ni pé kì í sábà yé wa tá a bá sọ wípé oyè ìlànà láì kan wà tó jẹ́ ti Balógun àti pé láì kan wà tó jẹ́ ti ọba kò tiẹ̀ yé mi
Ọ̀tún Olúbàdàn
ti Ọ̀tún Olúbàdàn ẹ ṣeun.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ ìyá wa ọdún kẹwàá tèmi ti jẹ mọ́gàjí rèé bàbá wa Odùgadé Odùlànà ló fi mí jẹ mọ́gàjí ṣùgbọ́n ńgbà bàbá máa fi mí jẹ mọ́gàjí ọjọ́ ti lọ náà lọ ní ara bàbá ti dàgbà ńgbà tí bàbá wa Ajé Ògúngúnnísọ̀ sì débẹ̀ mo wà lára àwọn tí wọ́n kọ́kọ́ yẹ bàbá sí mo wá súnmọ́ bàbá nítorí pé pópó Oyèmọjà tí bàbá ń gbé ńgbà tẹ́mi dàgbà Kúdẹ̀tì ni mo dàgbà sí ẹ̀ ń bá mọ̀ Ìbàdàn dáadáa mọ̀ pé tá bá ti kọjá bàbá mi ní àlùfáà ìjọ Kúdẹ̀tì
ní St. David's lọ́hùn.
St. David láti 1968 dé 1972.
Gbogbo obì ààrẹ sẹ̀pá ni àwọn ọmọ olúwo.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tá bá ti kọjá Kúdẹ̀tì tá a bọ́ sí Ìdí Arẹrẹ ọ̀nà méjìlá lè gbà wọ ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá ní pópó Oyèmọjà a lè gba ọjà Gbode tàbí ká gba wájú ilé ẹ̀gbọ́n wa tẹ́ ẹ dárúkọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan òun kọ́ lóun fọ̀run kẹ́hún àwọn náà Dáúdà Kànmú epo àkàrà eré pé kí wọ́n máa ṣe rẹ́kọ̀dù jáde yìí ló fi jẹ́ káwa ọmọdé ká mọ̀ wọ́n kí wọ́n tẹ̀ tó di pé wọ́n jọba bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ṣùgbọ́n tó wá jẹ́ kí wọ́n á súnmọ́ wọn púpọ̀ àwọn gan ni wọ́n ránṣẹ́ ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì wọ́n ránṣẹ́ pè mí nílé ayé wọn ìgbà kan tí gómìnà wa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Isiaka Ajímọ̀bí ọmọ ilé alága ńgbà wọ́n wà ńbẹ̀ tí wọ́n jẹ gómìnà wọ́n wá ṣe nǹkan tó ń pè ní review of the Ibadan Traditional Institution mú àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní Olúbàdàn council 11 ni wọ́n, 10 ọkùnrin, ẹyọkan obìnrin, ìyálóde. Wọ́n wá fáwọn 10 yẹn wọ́n fi wọ́n jọba. Mo wà ń bàdàn gbà náà torí Èkó lèmi ń gbé. Aago 10 ni kọlù bàbá dé. Wọ́n ní Mọ́gàjí mo lọ wà, mo ní wà ń bàdàn. Wọ́n ní ṣáà lè ríra ọjọ́ kejì. Ìgbà tí mo máa débẹ̀, mo pàdé Mọ́gàjí ilé Adánlá. Mo pàdé Mọ́gàjí Àbáàsì ọlọ́kọ̀. Mo tún pàdé Alhaji ọ̀rẹ́ mi Mọ́gàjí lò náà, Ọládọjà, kì í ṣe Ládọjà, Ọládọjà. Ìyẹn ti fẹ́ kan jẹ́ member Oòduà group of companies rí, member of the board. Bàbá wa ní ṣé kíní tí gómìnà Ajímọ̀bí ṣe ṣó tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn àbí ò tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn? Èmi ní ò tẹ́ àwa lọ́rùn o. Nítorí téèyàn bá mọ tí wọ́n ń pè ní the traditional system tí àwọn operate ní Ìbàdàn. Mọ́gàjí ìṣẹ̀gbẹ́ ẹ̀ baálẹ̀ o. Èèyàn ò lè jẹ Olúbàdàn tí ò bá kọ́kọ́ jẹ Mọ́gàjí. Ìgbẹ́lẹ̀ tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ṣe kàwé gbé jáde, wọ́n fẹ́ á máa sọ àwọn baálẹ̀ dọ́ba. Àwọn tẹ́sí fẹ́ pè ní àwọn ọba, ẹ máa sọ pé ẹ̀karùn Olúbàdàn, ọba kìnníkan. Ẹ̀karùn Olúbàdàn jẹ́ àjọba, níbo ni domain rẹ̀? Ńgbà mo wá gbé kinní ọ̀hún, mo sì mọ ìwé kọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ báyìí.
Ọ̀dà sí àká.
Mo kọ kinní ọ̀hún. Àwọn èèyàn ṣíà tí mo kọ yẹn ó kéré tán á tó bí 1000 ọ̀nà tí wọ́n ti ṣíà ẹ̀. Wọ́n kà gan ní State House of Assembly. Gómìnà gan tí mo mọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ẹni tí wọ́n bí lé èmi àti ẹ̀ àjọ wà ní the same school ni Akeem Ajímọ̀bí. Ó pe ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Professor Sọjí Adéjùmọ̀ pé kí ni Gbóyèga ṣe yìí? Ó dìjà. Ní tí wọ́n wá sọ nígbà tí wọ́n ń fi àwọn ọba yẹn jẹ ni pé ara bàbá Sàlíù Olúbàdàn Adétúnjí pé ara wọn ò yá. Mo wá ní bàbá sára yín yá bára yín ò yá, wọ́n láì kò sí ní tó ṣe àwọn ní ó dáa. Àwọn àmúyẹ káàkiri gbogbo Ìbàdàn, wọ́n ní àmọ́ kọjá abẹ́rẹ́ ògbọ́n láàrin kọjá abẹ́rẹ́. Mọ́tò 3 péré la gbé kúrò láàfin. Mọ́tò 2 bàbá àti mọ́tò tèmi. Nígbà tá a dé bẹ̀rẹ̀, èmi sọ fún dírẹ́bà mi, ọya òjé. Mo ń wo kábíyèsí lẹ́yìn, wọ́n tẹ̀lé mi. Nígbà dóje, Adágodi ayà sí secretariat. Agbáwájú ilé gómìnà kọjá. Mọ́tò tí ń tó bí 6, òsì Olúbàdàn. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Adéwọ̀lú Ládọjà, wọ́n bá pè mí, wọ́n ní àwọn ò gbọ́ pé ó ṣe nǹkan báyìí. Wọ́n ní ṣé àwọn lè ní káwọn ọmọ àwọn kí wọ́n join. Ká máa bọ̀. Mo ṣàgbé bàbá káàkiri gbogbo Ìbàdàn. Mo wá dá orin kan. Orin tí mò ń wí títí tí bàbá fi kú, wọ́n máa kọ Olúbàdàn. Ọba Adétúnjí lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ló wà. Àti Ìbàdàn ilé o. Àti Ìbàdàn oko
lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ló wà.
Aṣá àkọrin tá ń wí. Akọ tá a fi padà sí gbogbo òyìnbó. Gbogbo Ìbàdàn wá tú. Ọkọ̀ 3 la gbé jáde, ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo ọkọ̀ tó bá wa dé àtọ̀kadà, ọkọ̀ ń lọ sí bí 50. Ọ̀kadà ń lọ sí bí 100. Inú bàbá dùn. À ń bá kinní ọ̀hún lọ, a lọ ilé ẹjọ́ àwìn. Mo wá tún kó àwọn ẹgbẹ́ kan jọ tá à ń pè ní the authentic Mọ́gàjís of Ìbàdàn. Bàbá kan ló fi ọwọ́ sí ìwé yẹn. A bá ẹjọ́ yẹn lọ, àjàre gómìnà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹjọ́ yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tó tún tó bí ọdún kan lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn, bàbá bá tún pè mí. Ní aago 10 náà ni wọ́n ní Mọ́gàjí, wọ́n ní Aṣíwájú Ahmed Tinubu ló mọ̀ pé àwọn. Mo ní ṣé ò sí o bàbá. Wọ́n lọ ní mo ti ń gbé gbóná jù fáwọn, mo ti ń ọ̀rọ̀ mi tí mò ń sọ sáwọn ọ̀dà. Àìmọ́lé ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni mo ní ṣèbí òkè odò ló náà gbé dàgbà nílé ọdún jọ. Wọ́n ló sọ pé kí n dẹ̀, wọ́n ní ìjẹ́ wá dẹ̀. Wọ́n jẹ́ nítorí pé bóyá àwọn àti Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu àti olórí kékeré wọ́n jọ lọ sí the same primary school ní Ìbàdàn. Mo ní ṣé ìyẹn wọ́n fẹ́ lò, mo ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí ó wà nílẹ̀ yìí nígbà bọ̀dá mi Síákà wà ń bẹ̀ ní gómìnà. ebi Aṣíwájú ló fi jẹ gómìnà kò ṣe sọ fúngbà náà pé gbogbo àwọn ọba tó fẹ́ máa fi jẹ ọba tí wọ́n fi ń tàpá sí àṣẹ yín wọ́n ṣe sọ pé kí Ajímọ̀bí kó dánu dúró ńgbà náà pé èmi tèmi ṣe tèmi fi gbèjà yín lèmi náà ń ṣe tí mo fi ń gbèjà Yorùbá o wọ́n ní tó bá jẹ́ pé yín ni ọmọ mi máa ṣe lọ. Ńgbà sista Tòkunbọ̀ Awólọ́wọ̀ náà tún pè wá fún summit kan ní Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ Yorùbá Unity Forum bàbá tún ní wọ́n ní mo máa sọ̀rọ̀ ńbẹ̀ mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní ṣé kájọ lọ mo ní wéréwéré mo ti yá pé sista ẹ pé Olúbàdàn wọ́n fẹ́ wá o ó jẹ́ gbogbo ohun tèmi àti bàbá jọ ṣe torí bàbá onínúure ni wọ́n wọ́n sì nígbà wọn Ìbàdàn rójú Ìbàdàn ráàyè ẹ wá bèrè ìbéèrè kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan ẹni bò là ṣe ń bàdàn torí ìlú mi wà wọ́n lè mọ́rọ̀ bá jẹ lógún ọdún tí wọ́n mọ̀ jà àìmọye ìlú tí jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti gbéra wọn lọ sí court tó jẹ́ pé court case ní lọ sí bíi 30 years bá a ṣe ń bàdàn tó fi ń túbà tó fi ń túṣẹ òun rèé o ọ̀nà méjì ni ṣùgbọ́n láyé àtijọ́ ọ̀nà kan ni láyé àtijọ́ tó jọ́nà kan Ìbàdàn tá à ń wí Ìbàdàn tuntun tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ nítorí Ìbàdàn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti 1530 nígbàtí Lágelú ọ̀rọ̀ àpátamọ̀já ti kọ́kọ́ wá ṣùgbọ́n Lágelú báwo jẹ́ àwo òbàjẹ́ láti Ilé Ifẹ̀ Ìbàdàn àkọ́kọ́ tú Ìbàdàn èkejì nígbà táwọn Ifẹ̀ tí wọ́n gbógun ti àtàwọn Ọ̀yọ́ tó gbógun ti Òwu tó wú fọ́ Ìbàdàn èkejì Máyẹ̀ lóyè láti Ifẹ̀ ó tún dolórí Ìbàdàn ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí Ọ̀yọ́ tú tó kù díẹ̀ tó Ọ̀yọ́ tú Ìbà Olúyọ̀lé gbogbo wọn wá sí Ìbàdàn ṣùgbọ́n bí Máyẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe àwọn tó bá jẹ́ tIfẹ̀ yóò dájọ́ wọn dáadáa àwọn tó bá ti jẹ́ tọ̀yọ́ bí kó gé wọn lórí olówó jẹ́ kí àwọn Ọ̀yọ́ tó jẹ́ immigrants kí wọ́n wá bínú kan revolt against Máyẹ̀ grandfather tó bí grandfather tèmi gangan ló mú Máyẹ̀ níbi tí à ń pè Mọ̀lété lónìí ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ti wá jáde nìyẹn àwọn tó wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í ṣe olórí látàyè Máyẹ̀ wọ́n wá jẹ́ ológun látànlẹ̀ Ìbà Olúyọ̀lé títí dórí Balógun Ìbíkúnlé Báṣọ̀run Ògúnmọ́lá Balógun Akéré gbogbo wọn ológun ni wọn ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n wá rí pé tí wọ́n bá ti lọ sójú ogun ìgboro a máa dàrú in tí wọ́n fi ń sọ pé ìjàgboro làrùn Ìbàdàn nìyẹn nítorí àwọn tó ń ṣe olórí wọ́n ti lọ sójú ogun àwọn oníkálukú a máa ṣe bó ṣe wù wọ́n wá wò pé kò ní dáa kí gbogbo olórí máa lọ sójú ogun wọ́n sì gbọ́dọ̀ lọ sógun kọ́ máa wà sí pé àwa máa fi ẹnìkan délé ìyẹn ni wọ́n fi wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ another line ẹni tó sì kọ́kọ́ jẹ lórí ńgbà náà là ń pè ní Ayéjẹunkúfọ̀kọ̀ in fact ọmọ rẹ̀ òun ni Ẹ̀dí Oyèwọlé Fọ̀kọ̀ bọ́lọ̀ bá lọ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi òun náà d'Olúbàdàn lágbọ́rọ̀ Ọlọ́run òun la fi wá ní Balógun line tó jẹ́ tàwọn ológun that is the military line the warrior line òun la tó fi wá ní eléyìí tá à ń pè ní the civil line tí wọ́n fi jẹ Ọ̀tún Olúbàdàn ṣùgbọ́n ó jẹ Olúbàdàn ó kọ́kọ́ jẹ mọ́gàjí ilé yín ná nígbà ó bá jẹ mọ́gàjí ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí jagun ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí nígbà ó bá kúrò ní jagun ó di ààrẹ oníbọn nígbà ó bá kúrò níyun ló jẹ gbọ̀ǹkà ó jẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ ó jẹ bàdà ó jẹ lágùnà
lájẹyó
ọjà àgbàkin orí àgbàkin ló ti wá dúró ló ti wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀kẹfà ẹ̀karùn-ún tó bá wá jẹ́ ẹ̀kẹfà yẹn tó bá ti bọ́ sí line jagun Olúbàdàn ọ̀tọ̀ jagun Balógun ọ̀tọ̀ gbọ̀ǹkà Olúbàdàn ọ̀tọ̀ gbọ̀ǹkà Balógun ọ̀tọ̀.
gbọ́ ìkànnì èèyàn jẹnu méjèèjì line.
ẹ̀kan ni ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ Ìbàdàn sì rèé mojọ́mọdé ń wó joyè kò rí báwọn a ti rí ẹni tó ti pé ọmọ 100 ọdún ó lé ní 3 tó sì lo ó sì lò 20 ọdún dín mẹ́rin tá ń pè ní 16 tó sì lò 60 years tó sì jẹ́ pé 83 ló fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ àríwú rẹ̀. Bàbá Lànà gan àwọn jẹ́ Olúbàdàn ní 91 wọ́n sì lọ́dún 10. So mọjọ́ ọmọdé kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹni tèmi àti ẹjọ́ jẹ́ sàwáwù kan náà dájọ́ lọ sí iléèwé kan náà dájọ́ lọ sí yunifásitì kan náà bí ọdún Kọ́ládàísí 1994 òun ni ó jẹ mọ́gàjí táwọn èèyàn sì ti rò pé yóò tètè dolúbàdàn kò rí báwọn. Bàbá wa Sálíù gan fúnra wọn àwọn gan kọ́ ló kàn nígbà tí bàbá Lànà kú. Àwọn méjì ni wọ́n ṣáájú wọn kú ní ṣísẹ̀ntẹ̀lé. Bàbá wa Kúyẹ̀ kọ́lọ́run fọ̀run kẹ́ wọn àti Jẹ́ríyìn òun ló fi kàn wọ́n. Bí ọ̀rọ̀ Ìbàdàn ṣe rí nìyẹn. A ti rí ẹni tó jẹ́ 67 ó jẹ́ mẹ́tàdínní
àádọ́rin
tó sì jẹ́ pé òun la ṣípa àìní ẹ̀kẹta aṣípa là máa ń ní tó sì filẹ̀ ìbora bí aṣọ. A sì rí ẹni tó sì pé 91 tó sì tún lọ́dún 10. So ẹni tó lọ́n bá kọ fún òun ni ó dolúbàdàn. Bàbá wa Adédìbú he became mọ́gàjí at the age of 60 nílé Olúkòyí, and when he was 80 that was when he became aṣípa. That was third in line, ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ò jẹ́ kí wọ́n débẹ̀. So bí ọ̀rọ̀ Ìbàdàn ṣe rí nìyẹn o.
Ẹ ṣeun o, kẹ́pẹ́ o, ẹ ṣeun. For the benefit of our people who are just coming in, especially our non-speaker of Yoruba, we are paying tribute to Olubadan of Ibadan, who joined his ancestor this morning, Oba Saliu Adetunji Adeogunguniso, and we have the honor of Magaji Gboyega Adejuma from Ibadan, who we are lucky that we have invited him already to be here. And then he's giving us a dual role, which we really, really appreciate. We are not going to be entertaining questions at this section because this is not the main thing that we are doing today. And we are not going to take questions. But I'm going to call one or two Ibadan people that I see that they want to pay tribute. They're going to make it brief. One of them is àbúrò mi Magaji Apatẹrẹ, Magaji Ọláwálé Ọlálérè, Apabíẹlẹ́ṣin, sorry, Apabíẹlẹ́ṣin. Magaji Apabíẹlẹ́ṣin, you want to pay your tribute?
Yeah,
Ọláwálé Ọlálérè.
But ẹ ṣeun àǹtí o, ẹ ṣeun àǹtí. Well, gẹ́gẹ́ bí Magaji Adéjùmọ̀ mọ́ ṣe sọ kọjá, àwọn kan tó hard ni pé àwọn olóyè Ìbàdàn àwọn ni wọ́n pè ní agbọ́tikúyọ̀. Adúpẹ́ fún mi tọ́lọ́run tó lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀ ní bàbá wa kábíyèsí Sálíù Adétúnjì Ògúnnísọ̀. Àwọn ni bàbá tí wọ́n fi àwa jẹ mọ́gàjí. So a sì mọ rántí wọn nù tán ní títí tọ́lọ́run bá gbà náà lórí àpèrè. Gbogbo olóyè Ìbàdàn náà ni láti wọ́n tẹ́yìn bá ti gbọ́ pé èèyàn èmi gan sùn láàárọ̀ yìí èmi ò tiẹ̀ mọ nǹkan kan mo ti jí ìyàwó mi ló pọ́ wá pè mí sálẹ̀ pé àwọn àgbẹ̀ pé bàbá ti kú. Ìgbà tí mo rí Facebook báyìí gbogbo ẹ̀ ti kú. So aláti máa pè Ìbàdàn ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. Àkódà gan àwọn aṣípa mi àwọn ọlọ́jẹ̀ gbogbo ilé wa ní kò mọ jẹ́ gbogbo náà wọ́n ti wà mọ̀ kó gan nígbà tó ń pè mí. A dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run fún ìlọ́rẹ̀ mi bàbá wa Sálíù Adétúnjì Àkànmú. Mọ́gàjí tí wọ́n kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ síwájú wọ́n ti sọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ pa wọn. So kò tún ní ìdí káwa tún máa tún ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn náà sọ padà. Ọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ táwa kàn mọ́ ń pa bàbá ni pé wọ́n jẹ́ èèyàn kan tẹ́ pé wọ́n gbẹ́sìn ga gidi gan ẹ̀sìn Islam. Wọ́n dẹ̀ tún jẹ́ olóòótọ́. Òótọ́ yẹn ni ò jẹ́ kí ibi tí gbogbo àwọn tajẹ́ mọ́gàjí lé ní táwa tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tò táwa náà tá à ń di jagun tá à ń di vada tá à ń di gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́la. A mọ̀ fi ti bàbá yìí dúpẹ́ ni torí pé wọ́n dojú oyè rú tán gbogbo náà ni wọ́n ti sọ síwájú so Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ bá wa ṣe nǹkan tí máa kàn wá dìmọ́ sí ni pé gbogbo wa tá a jọ mọ Ìbàdàn oríire náà ni pé àdérù bàbá yẹn tẹ́gbọ́n dẹ̀ Olúbàdàn fún òde jẹ́ kí ètò àtàṣà kó fẹnu kọ́lẹ̀ àdó àtàlẹ̀ tó máa gbàgbọ́ àwọn Ìbàdàn ni pé gbogbo àwọn ẹni tí ó tún wá tó tún súnkàn báyìí náà àwọn tí bóyá ìjọba ní àmì táwọn Olúbàdàn council tí wọ́n tó máa yàn síwájú torí pé kò mí pé èèyàn kan ló wà lọ́tún sí òun náà wọ́n ó tún mú nígbà míì torí a tún ti gbọ́ nù tẹ̀ pé wọ́n máa ń ba ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ̀lé mi but bí bọ́lá wọn ṣàti bá a ṣe tẹ́ pé ètò succession yìí yóò gba ìrọwọ́ ìrọsẹ̀ wá tẹ́ pé ẹni tí ọ̀bàdàn ti di Olúbàdàn kò ní sí nípa ń bára wa jà bá a ti bára wa jà ní ti bàbá náà so abádẹ́ tún bára wa jà jẹ́ tẹ́ pé ìjà yẹn ò ní pẹ́ táàtún fi form unity àdúrà táwọn àgbà náà nìyẹn nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn àti máa mẹ́yìn tó máa kàn tí ò bá sí wàhálà kankan sí àti mọ̀ pé bàbá wa Chief Olóyè Lékan Balógun àwọn ti Aliwo dynasty àwọn ló kàn báyìí èèyàn dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ mo ṣe máa ń sọ fún wọn gbàtà bá wọn àtẹ́ǹdì di Aláàfin tẹ́ni tó bá kàn tí ò bá ti ní pé bóyá wọ́n sọ pé wà disoriented bóyá ni kò mọ ọ̀nà tó yàtọ̀ sósì òun náà ni ó dùn Olúbàdàn ẹni tó dẹ̀ fún máa tó kàn lẹ́yìn yẹn tẹ́gbẹ́tẹ́ nìkan tẹ́ pé bóyá kò lè bóyá wọ́n find wọn health incapacitated wọn á tún bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá tó wọ́n dé rank lẹ́yìn wọn ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo bó ṣàtúnṣe àlímọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ olóyè Ìbàdàn sí until after 21 days tábà ti ọ̀rọ̀ tábà ṣe lédè fún bàbá wa tó wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ sí so ìgbà táwọn náà ta gbọ́ lágbá Ọlọ́run in the next 1 or 2 weeks mo gbọ́dọ̀ kàn bàdà dára gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Ìbàdàn tẹ́ wà lórí ìkànnì yìí adúpẹ́ apá ara fẹ́ra kù àti bàbá ìlú rojú ìlú ráyè àmìláyè bàbá wa olóyè Sàlíù àmì bàbá Olúbàdàn Sàlíù so ẹni tí ó dẹ̀ tún gbọ́ sípò náà ọ̀nà ọmọ fi Ìbàdàn tù wà yóò lára so ọ̀rọ̀ tèmi ni ẹ ṣeun gbọ́ apá ara fẹ́ra.
So adúpẹ́ o Mọ́gàjí Ọláwálé Apábí Ẹlẹ́ṣin ní Kọ̀bọ̀mọjẹ́ nìbàdàn wọ́n ní oyè Ìbàdàn wọ́n ní àwọn olóyè Ìbàdàn agbọ́ ti kú yọ̀ ni torí bí ọba bá ti kú kálukú ni ó ti máa retí promotion wọ́n sún síwájú ní kẹrẹrẹ gbà kẹrẹrẹ alábàjọ tó ẹ ṣeun adúpẹ́ mi ò rí ọmọ Ìbàdàn míì tí ó nawọ́ sókè láti pay tribute èmi ó wà pay tribute tèmi torí mo súnmọ́ bàbá dáadáa ikú pa babaláwo bí ẹni tí ó gbọ́ fá ikú pa oníṣègùn bí ẹni tí ó gbóògùn àwáyé èpo sí ọba Sàlíù Olúbàdàn ilẹ̀ Ìbàdàn bàbá wa nìbàdàn nílé Olúyọlé ọmọ arólú owó ọmọ arólú omi ọmọ òkè túlú igbó àsábárí ọmọ agbórúurú níwájú ológun àsábárí oníkọjà lógun oníkọjọ sanjọ àlá ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́mi ní kẹ́kẹ́ máa dẹ́gbẹ́jọ kọ kíkẹta ìkẹ́ máa dẹ́gbẹ̀rin dínlógún àgbò dúdú làá fi bọ àsábárí ewúrẹ́ dúdú làá fi bọ lógun nínú ìran tiwọn ọmọ ọlọ́yà jíbọ̀kì ọmọ ọlọ́yà jìlú kéké ọmọ aṣọyẹ tán kó tó ṣoru ìdí ẹlẹ́yọ ọmọ ẹ̀yọ̀ bàbá Olúbàdàn ilẹ̀ Ìbàdàn bàbá rere ti lọ bàbá táyé lóòlù èjì rẹ àlògbọ́ ọmọ ẹkùn níbà ó di gbére ó bàbá wa tó bí mo ti máa wí manu fún àti dárò bàbá tí n bá lọ sí Ìbàdàn mi ò lè ṣe kí n mọ́ dọ́dọ̀ bàbá bí mo ṣe wí màá jókòó síbi ẹsẹ̀ wọn ní báyìí ohun kankan tí mo fẹ́ kí a kọbi ara sí ni ìwà ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ àti sùúrù bàbá ní sùúrù púpọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n ra sọ nípa olóògbé gómìnà àná alàgbà Isiaka Ajímọ̀bí tí wọ́n rọra sọ wẹ́rẹ́ kò mọ wẹ́rẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ṣe ní wẹ́rẹ́ torí pé bàbá rọra mú bàbá bó ṣe bàbá mú pẹ̀lú àgbà, bàbá mú pẹ̀lú sùúrù, torí ó hàn dáadáa wípé ìjà ni ọ̀rọ̀ oyè tí wọ́n dálẹ̀, pé dígbà tí a mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ dá ìjà lẹ̀ láàrin àwọn èèyàn méjì ni. Ṣùgbọ́n bàbá lo ọgbọ́n àgbà, bí ìgbà tí wọ́n bá sọ pé èèyàn fẹ́ gbógun tìyàn. Ó lóhùn kan tí mo mọ̀ tí bàbá sọ ní gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ni pé nígbà tí wọ́n bi bàbá pé ṣó tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn, bàbá ní kò tẹ́ mi lọ́rùn o, torí kò síbi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ lè rí bínú, ẹ lè rí jà, ẹ lè rí ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú lẹ́nu abọ́ rẹ̀ ni nígbà náà. Bàbá ní sùúrù. Àdúrà wa ni pé kí Ọlọ́run ọba kí ó dẹ̀lẹ̀ fún bàbá. Bàbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí Mùsùlùmí, àlùjànnà fìrìdáùsà, kí Ọlọ́run ọba kó fi rọ bàbá lọ́rùn. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wọn kí àwọn náà gbógbógbó bí olúgbogbo tí í gbó, kí a má rí àtẹ̀yìnkú, kí a má sì rí àkúfà nínú gbogbo ẹbí bàbá wa. Ẹlẹ́dàá kó bá wa dúró ti ìyá wa olórí Rashida, olórí àgbà tí àwọn ti lọ, àwọn ti di ohun lọrin lónìí, tó a kí olórí náà pé wọ́n kó àmójúbà bàbá, tó kí Ọlọ́run kí ó dẹ̀lẹ̀ fún gbogbo àwọn òkú tó ti kú. Àní rí àtẹ̀yìnkú, àní rí àkúfà. Gbogbo Ìbàdàn pátápátá, ẹkú lédè, ẹkú délé. Ó jẹ́ bí ó ṣe mọ ní apá abẹun. Tó ká túṣu nù, ká tu àgbàdo nù, ká wá roko mọ́ nǹkan tá a jẹ, kí wá ló tún kù tá a jẹ. Mo kí Mọ́gàjí, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn tí ẹ wà níkàlẹ̀. The topic for today is very, very important. But I'm not going to forget that I promise that this year, Yoruba Gbode is going to look completely different. Sometimes before in the past, we have spent 5 hours on Yoruba Gbode. We are not, this year is not going to be like that, because we will go straight to the point. We will nail it, and we just, be out of here in no time, so we can get ready for our job on Monday. So, we all know Magaji Gboyega Adejuma. Magaji Gboyega Adejuma has been a member of Afenifere, and he has been here on our program. He knows what is going on, especially on the issue of Sunday Adeyemo Chief, that we know as Sunday Ucha or Sunday Igboho. I decided that we're going to do this in English because we have so many agitators who are here who don't speak Yoruba, but they love Yoruba people. Who don't love Yoruba people? Thank God for that. So I'm also going to introduce again, even though we have heard his voice and we know that he's here, Amoye Yoruba, Baba, Baba, Professor Adeniran Adeboye. Iwelario, where are you? Okay. So, Baba Adeniran is here. Also, a member of Amoye Yeye Omofolabo Ajayi Soyinka. She is here. Yeye, I'm trying to unmute you. Yeye, okay, please unmute. Okay.
Hello. Ewu ọdún tuntun, adẹ̀kú àsẹ̀yìndè àwọn bàbá wa ní Ìbàdàn, kí Ọlọ́run kó fi ọ̀run kẹ́ wọn.
Àṣẹ.
Àti ẹni tó dẹ̀ máa joyè kan kó má ṣe ní tipátipá o.
Àmín o.
Yà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀rọ.
Ẹlẹ́dàá bá bomi tútù sí. Ẹ ṣeun. Ẹ ṣeun mà. Baba Professor Adeniran Adeboye, I introduce you on this segment, but you don't have to talk now. Mo mọ̀ pé òòṣà ìbọnú ń lọ lọ́wọ́. It's okay. Another member of the panel of this important discussion is somebody that we know very, very well. She has been on a program several times. She is a member, and not just ordinary member, excuse me. She is an important member of Ilana, one of the leaders, one of the conveners of Ilana. She's also a convener and a leader at Niners, which is a group that is fighting for dissolution of Nigeria, so everybody can go their separate ways, and that is a Niners. Yeye Folashade Olukoya, you are on. Please say your greetings so people will know it is you. Unmute yourself, man.
Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have another important member of the panel, this important panel. He is on my way, Patrick Akimbola. Because of the time, I'm not going to talk so much about what he has done in the past. But I can assure you that Dr. Patrick Akimbola is one of the Yoruba children, even though it's an adult, I'm going to call him Yoruba children, that we are always very, very proud of. Days, night is always thinking, is always talking, is always making notes about how Yoruba can progress, including the growth of our children, including how we are not going to forget our culture, including how we can get away from all these problems. He has worked days and nights. And this is not the first time. He had done that in the past too, when we were struggling a couple of years ago. I am very, very happy to introduce Dr. Patrick Akimbola as an important member of this panel to everybody.
I want to just appreciate us and say Happy New Year for a new year for all of us. And I'm really honored at all of the enthusiasm with which we are starting this year. Obviously, very sincere condolence to our Ibadan folks for the loss of our father. Baba has gone to a good place, the natural destination for all believers. And we wish the Ibadan people all the very best in the year that has just begun. I'm really delighted and honored to be here.
Thank you, sir. You are welcome. And also, I have to add that Dr. Akimbola has worked behind the scenes several times to help Yoruba Gbode as a program and also as a team. We are happy that we can make you talk today. Thank you. So we have started. What we have today is enormous. It's a big task. Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho or Sunday Osha, has been incarcerated for more than 6 months. Even though I don't have money, I had Christmas at home with my family. The New Year, I had it at home with my family. Chief Sunday Adeyemo did not have that opportunity. The first thing that we are going to do, I'm going to call Magadi Adejuma to spearhead that. We are going to start with what exactly did he do? I'm not talking about what did they say he did. What did he do that he has to be incarcerated. The first thing that happened is they went to his house, they killed some people there. And Yoruba will say, "Ikú tó ń pojú gbà ẹni òwe ló ń pa fún ni." He tried to leave gently. The next thing, he was arrested. Baba Gboyega Adejuma, what did he do? What was his offense?
Thank you very much, Iyawa. I really want to say this to each and every one of us here. The good Lord shall make this year a very profitable year for the Yoruba.
Amen.
And we are closer to our emancipation than many would want to believe. And this year will be such a wonderful year for Yoruba's freedom.
Amen.
Now, regarding Chief Sunday Adeyemo, I went on national television. I think it was on Channels Television. I went on national television and I said he didn't do anything. And I said that the president is operating two sets of laws. One for the North and one for those he will want to call the recalcitrant South. And I justified it. Chief Sunday Igboho was only trying to do what is within the law. And that is to demand for his people the right to self-determination. Apart from being a chieftain of the Afenifere, a member of the ESCO of the Afenifere, a member of the caucus of the Afenifere, I'm also the publicity secretary of the Yoruba Summit Group that organized the Ibadan Declaration of 2017. And the Yoruba Summit Group comprises of every group, so to say. And we came out with a communique, I think on the 25th of July last year or thereabout, to say that we, the Yoruba, are demanding for a fully structured Nigeria by the 1st of October last year. And failure, the year before even, not just last year, the year before. And a failure to do that will leave us with no other option than to seek for our own self-determination through every legal means possible. And we have the principle of self-determination entrenched in the UN Charter that allows for indigenous people to press for their rights. The African Union has it entrenched in their constitution. It is not any matter resembling or close to secession. Neither are we talking about raising up arms, but it is within the law for indigenous people to ask for a certain amount of their rights, failure to which they can resort to self-determination. And that was what Igboho was doing. And I said on national television that if all that the federal government could do was go to his house, ransack his house, destroy his property, kill people, all because of what they said they found in his house, which are instruments of his own religion, then what exactly do we call those who have all the instrumentality of terrorism? They have the rocket launchers, they have the missile launchers, they have the anti-aircraft guns, they go on rampage, killing people on a killing spree, and all that is being done is to protect them. I gave them 5 P's. Prevaricate, preserve, pay them, and pander to them. Why will they do that? Because it's their own people, and they will have a different set of laws for us Southerners. And it is unfortunate that Nigeria has sunk into this despicable situation in which a man that has committed no crime is being hounded, and hounded to the extent that the court of the law in Oyo State sat on this case, prejudged that the federal government did something wrong, and gave a judgment in favor of Igboho that he should be paid a certain compensation running to about 20 billion naira. Rather than the federal government to comply, all they are trying to do is to bring him back to this country from Benin Republic. It is simply unjust. This is like man to man, unjustly hounding a citizen of the Yoruba nation, unjustly.
So
Igboho has not done anything wrong. He is only speaking for all the oppressed people of the southwestern part of Nigeria. And in doing that, all that we need to do is to continue to give him the support and never to back down, never to be blackmailed, never to be railroaded into thinking that he has done something wrong, and as such, we must now go on our bended knees to be begging. We should not be begging our oppressors. We should be telling them to their faces that they have done a most evil thing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Otunba Folashade Olukoya, what did Igboho do? What was his offense? Maybe you see it from another perspective.
Kò sí perspective kankan tí fẹ́ ti rí náà ju exactly nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ.
Yeah, we are trying to speak English because of other people, our guests, yes.
Okay. You see, there's not much that Igboho has done that is wrong. Uncle Magaji has put it very well, very clearly. Even though I look at it from a different angle to Uncle Magaji, in the sense that he started off from restructuring, and I don't believe in restructuring. I believe in outright self-determination for the Yorubas. We are for Yoruba nation. We are not after any other thing. And luckily for us, Sunday shared this viewpoint with us. That Yoruba nation is a do or die affair with us. How do we put it? But you see, the federal government, this is a country that is full of, that has no, we have rules, we have regulations, we don't follow it. This is a country where people do things, the government does things and get away with it. For the simple reason that this constitution that we are all fighting about, that we are saying must come down, and gives them the impunity to do exactly what they want, as they want, and they owe us absolutely no explanation. They don't owe us anything. If people take the time to read that constitution, that 1999 constitution, whether it's the light, you cannot question them on why we don't have light. They don't owe us any explanation. We cannot ask them why there's no water. They don't owe us any explanation. They don't owe us explanation for anything. Why our educational standards are falling? Why there is nothing, no medical care in the country? Why Buhari travels abroad, and yet it ties us all down to outdated medical. It does not owe us any explanation. So we had to fight. We had to fight for what we want. We had to start protesting that this is unfair, that what we want to be free, and we don't owe anybody any explanation. We too don't owe anybody any explanation. We too do not owe, how do I put it? We don't need anybody to give us permission to fight for our rights. We are entitled to it. This is what Sunday has joined us in the Southwest, particularly the Ilano Omo Odua, to do. And he has said it very well at any point that when Yoruba Nation comes with its best, anybody that does not want Yoruba Nation, let him go and do a video and disclaim it and say that it's not part of it or he doesn't want it, which we are sure nobody will do. Because when Awolowo and Co were going to Lancaster House in the 50s, how many people knew they were going? What did we even know they were going there to do? But when they announced the independence of Nigeria, when they announced self-government, who said they were not part of it? Nobody. So Sunday Igboho has done very well. He has done very, very well. I remember one of the first interviews I granted on him, I think for Heritage TV. I said I was very proud of him. He's part of us, that he came out from the Yorubas. He has done exceedingly well in sensitizing our masses to what the actual problem is. He did this in the basic approach that the grassroots could understand. You know, going out from the rallies, explaining to people, telling us exactly what should be done. And when the federal government now saw how successful he was being, they tried to stop him. See, most people don't understand the narrative behind what happened. They tried to stop him. They appealed to some people in the who call themselves leaders of the Yorubas, a particular person. Can you talk to Sunday for so that he will stop all this nonsense, all this doing the rally? Don't forget that by the time they started, you started hearing on the social media, Sunday, stop the rally. No rally in Lagos. Nothing must happen in Lagos. We have already done all the other 5 states, remaining only Lagos State. So they wanted him to stop the Lagos State one. Unfortunately for us, we had an Ijebu man, one Ijebu and Jojo Odumosu, who wanted to, I think somebody told us today, or yes, that he's due for retirement today. Maybe he wanted to retire and collect his what do we call it? His retirement benefits. He's supposed to retire today. He decided that rally was not going to vote, and he joined hands with the person they called to talk to Sunday. And Sunday probably took it as a joke. That how can you tell me to stop what I've been doing? We've done for 5 states. What is so special about Lagos State that this will not hold? But unfortunately, they didn't. They took it more serious than he thought. And when we talked to him, when we got wind of what they were going to do, we talked to him. We were told that we should talk to him that he should come under the umbrella of NINAS, or at least of Ilano. But because he has been going under the umbrella of Shokon, that is his own group, he felt it was okay. So that was where the problem started. It was a matter of the government flexing muscles with him. Now that they finally took him, unfortunately for them, they declared live stream to what happened in the South. And that was a shame to them. You know, ordinarily, this is the only country I know that the government will kill its own citizens, will enter its own citizens' home, kill citizens there, destroy their property, destroy their house, and then turn around and say, yes, we did it. But they had no choice. It wasn't that they wanted to admit it. But because that the girl had streamed that thing live, they had no choice but to lay claim to it. So
thank you.
It was there. And there was nothing they could do. He ran, went to Cotonou. He got to Cotonou. They sent Buretai to bring him back, forgetting that, hey, come on, I will have to say this in Yoruba. When they closed the border several years ago, the president of Benin Republic came here cap in hand to beg Buhari. Buhari, please, my people are suffering. My people are starving. Nigeria is our #1 trading partner. Buhari refused to listen. Either Buhari or Malami or whoever it was that is in charge, they refused to listen. Now they want Sunday handed back over to them. And they find that it's not going to be that easy. So that's one part of the problem. The other part of the problem is that they cannot afford to let Sunday come back to Nigeria. For the simple reason that it will create more problems for them, free in Nigeria, whether in prison or whatever, because they can't kill him anymore. it's too late. Everybody now knows the situation that they and him they have case to answer. So if they know that if they allow him back into Nigeria, whether they create him or they bring him in a helicopter or whatever they did, like they did to the IPOB Namdi, is going to create problems for them. If you remember, there was a boy too, Sunday Oka, not Sunday, Henry Oka, that they took from here. They said they bombed Lagos Eagle Square or something, who is in South Africa now. That boy should have been released, but they can't release him. If they release him, the trouble they will get from him being in Nigeria will be more than keeping him in South Africa. So it's the same principle why they are hanging on to Sunday. They are letting Benin Republic keep Sunday. Not that he has done anything wrong, but they cannot afford to have him split off.
Thank you.
Under any guise, whether it's inside DSS Gulag, or is in police detention, or they kept him as in house detention in his house. The trouble they are going to have more than just keeping him quietly there. So I think no, we should not worry. Nothing will happen to Sunday. Sunday will leave. He's going to leave Benin Republic. And I've always said it that from there he will go to Germany to go and rest. But from the noise they themselves are generating, I think we may have to bring him first to Nigeria. Let his people see him that he has been released before we let him go back to Germany to go and rest.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Before I go back to the next question, Dr. Akimbola, to you, what do you think was Chief Sunday Adeyema's offense that sent him to incarceration?
Well, I think most of us will at this point know what his offense was. And if we had to put it plain and simple, it was the fact that he dared to look and speak truth to power. He did not fit the mold of those that would take that giant step. And we all know how Yorubas have been, how we value Western education and all the trimmings that come with position. And so when he stepped out from among the people the way he did and spoke so unequivocally, that was a game changer. And suddenly you found that a lot of the rent seekers and opportunists who had been parading as leaders, both among our own people and among our external oppressors, they were really touched and intimidated by that move. And when they told him to back off and he let them know he wouldn't, they did decide that this wasn't going to be as easy as they had initially anticipated, which is why we are where we are now. I would just like you to permit me, if you could, to quickly mention three factors, what I consider three underlying factors that have prevented his release at this time. Baba Adeboye has there's a very common refrain that he makes at these meetings, where he talks about Nigeria being a country, but not a nation. And when you think about it, you see that most of us take that for granted. We assume somehow that we're a nation. This is the way a nation should be, and so on and so forth. So as I thought about today's dialogue, meeting, that continually came to my mind. The first issue is the fact that we have strong personalities and weak institutions. I think the weakness of our institutions, both in Yoruba land itself and in Nigeria in general, has come to the fore with what has happened with Gbode right now. But what you are finding then is that it shows that with all the pomp and pageantry with which we want to represent ourselves as a nation, our institutions remain anemic and weak. So this is a very important point that I want us to hold on to. The absence of true institutions to be able to protect the interests of the people wherever they may be. The second issue is the internal contradictions within the Yoruba society itself. You know, permit me to use a little of Yoruba. When you are fair, we can see, you can complete the rest of it for yourself. I mean, that's the truth. That really is the truth, because when you look at how we are parading our ineptness on a global scale today, when we look at ourselves individually, and we look at all the potentials, and we look at what is going on, and we look at how this young, promising, this icon can be subjected to this level of humiliation and neglect. And a lot of us, we're just going about business as usual. So I'm saying that the internal contradictions that exist in Yoruba society are suddenly put in front of us a bundle of issues that we need to be able to unpack. And then obviously, but I think a second issue is the absence of any very cohesive, stable representation of Yoruba identity and impact and power capacity in any real form to be able to say, yes, we are the ones that are going to stand in the middle of this. And I say all that with all sense of humility, but also as someone who considers himself a witness. Because when I think about a lot of what's going on, I'm not a Yoruba leader in terms of leading a group. I belong to some groups, but I really am not active in any group. But I think I will consider that myself a good witness, a witness in terms of someone who has had the opportunity to interact with a variety of people involved with the movement at various times, belong to Yoruba World Congress at the point where I was actively involved. The Yoruba Digital Library Project was something Professor Ajayi Soyinka and myself started with a lot of enthusiasm and so on before things went awry with the Yoruba World Congress. So that's
we are going to get there.
Yes.
Dr. Akimbola, we are going to get there. I want us to quickly go to this question that is the main reason why we're here. And I'm going to throw that big question to Magaji Gbode Adejumasa. We have started that he didn't commit any offense. Let's say they took him by mistake. My people will say, then we throw it back. Why can't they release him? Why is it difficult to be released? What is in the way of releasing him, whether from the government or from the people of Kutonu? What is the main thing that they can talk about that they say, okay, this is the reason why we are not releasing him?
Thank you very much. When you approached me to come to this program,
yes, sir,
I didn't want to make a condition, but I made a plea.
Okay.
That you should please invite Tunji Omolewu.
I did.
Yes, I know
Baba,
you did.
I did.
He even called me about 30 minutes to this program, and I told him what to do to be able to be part of us. Because a lot of what I'm going to say will have to be validated. At least he is a witness to many of the things I'm going to have to say. And he's a witness because I first met Tunji Omolewu in the year 2010. But I had known Chief Sunday Igboho since 1992. Please read my lips. I have known Chief Sunday Igboho since 1992. And then I got to know him closer and closely, and in such a way that he could point me out and I could point him out since the year 2002. So I'm talking about somebody that I know, somebody that has come to my house, that Jabele came with him to my house. Now, some of us are veterans of June 12, and we know how to fight. And we know when it is Mojamosa, and we know when we have to make a retreat, and when we have to intensify the effort. Fighting government is not a small thing. In fact, for you people in the diaspora, there is a saying that you can't fight City Hall, you can't win. But we fought Abacha.
And we won.
We lost people. Chief Rewane was killed. Papa Desoya's car was riddled with bullets. We lost Kudirat Abiola. We lost quite a lot of other people that you may not have heard of their names. They went into Chief Gani Fawehinmi's house and killed his Megad. My best friend in the world, Aki Oshutokun, they burnt down his cousin's house thinking it was there. So, but we know how to do it. We formed the Nadeko route, which never will take anyone to Benin Republic and stop. We formed that route that will take whoever is leaving Nigeria to Ghana, pass through Benin Republic to Togo, and then end up in Ghana. When this situation was getting really, really hot, I called Igboho to my house in Lagos. In fact, the day he was coming to my house was the day he was purportedly harassed by the DSS at the toll gate in Ibadan. But he still managed to get to my place. From my place, I took him straight to Papa Adebanjo. From Papa Adebanjo, we left Papa Adebanjo around 9 p.m. to come to Iba Gani Adams's house, and we didn't leave the place until a little over 1 a.m. And we knew what we were doing. A lot of people had wanted Iba Gani Adams to come into the struggle in such a fierce manner, militarily. And he kept saying, until the elders give me the go ahead, I will not move an inch. And he knows what he's saying because he too has gone through all of this. He spent 40 months in detention during Abacha, and even with Obasanjo. He knows what it is to fight without cover. And he knew that at every point in time that he was taken in for serious cases, serious charges, murder, arson, among others. And these are not even bailable offenses. But we got him out. The Afenifere got him out. And he says, I will not move an inch until they are ready. The point I'm trying to make is this, that the Yoruba nation had rallies in all the states was because of us. We called the governors together, and Jabele was there at Moro. It was the time we were burying Yinka Odumakin, and that's why I wanted Jabele to be here. And we gave express instructions. In fact, I will not mention, because of the sensitivity of this matter, I will not mention the name of the government official that coordinated the Yoruba nation rallies in all the states in the Southwest. But the person was liaising with Jabele because Igbo was out of the country. And I wanted Jabele to confirm this, that it didn't just happen that the Yoruba nation rallies went most successfully in Oyo, Ondo, Ogun, Ekiti, Oshun, but didn't go well in Lagos. When it got to Lagos, we tried everything and we were told that Lagos is a no-go area. In fact, we got calls from the authorities that Lagos is a no-go area, and we passed the message across that we couldn't do it. Even with the fact that people were arrested in Lagos. Dr. Aderibole, I think, and Dr. Fab are my witnesses. They came to me. Afenifere released the money for the 48 people to be free. The 49th person, they said, will not be released because he was being charged for murder. But the much I want to say is that management of any situation is about strategy. Gidigba Oshilekun. if we are to fight this war, it has got to be by strategy. It has got to be with the Yoruba putting on their thinking cap. We are not going to find success in an headlong kind of struggle. We cannot fight gun for gun, power for power with the powers that be, especially with the Fulani overlords. They don't care about life, and they are all ready to protect their own. In which case, it wouldn't matter to them, and it didn't matter how many lives are lost in Yoruba land. They have tried that in the East, and we saw how they were wasting the lives of the IPOB, and we didn't want that to happen in Yoruba land. The governors that we spoke to, they kept to the letter. In fact, they even provided ambulances in those places just to make sure that nothing happened. I wish Igboho had been handled better, because some people felt, oh, we are not exactly for Yoruba nation, and as such, we should not be heard, we should not be listened to, and we should not even be considered as part and parcel of this struggle. But this is the struggle that we have been on for 70 years. We know exactly what to expect. It is forever a mistake to have gotten Igboho to travel out of Nigeria to Benin Republic and stop there, trying to leave Nigeria through Benin Republic. Benin Republic is like the 37th state of Nigeria. Everything in Benin Republic is controlled by the Nigerian authorities. And please believe what I have just said. Nobody will try to even go for any election in Benin Republic without first getting clearance from Abuja. And the economy is tied to our economy. In fact, I am bold to say that the president of Ghana queried us and said, but you know how it is during the Nadeko period. You know how Ghana will have helped. Why did you allow this young man to go to Benin Republic? And that was why I wanted Jabele to be here today, so that he can corroborate everything that I'm trying to say today. Because he is a witness, because he is the link between us and the government of the Southwest, to make sure that everything about the Yoruba Nation rally went well without any molestation. We were able to do that. But this struggle has become a matter of shekarimi. Some people just want to take glory. What is taking glory? What glory did Awolowo take for all that he did for Yoruba land? What is in taking glory? If we are to fight and we have a common enemy, why are we not putting together all the strategies that we can muster? Why must it be about your own group versus the other group? It is a common struggle. So, unfortunately, the situation that has happened. But the fact that they have not brought him to Nigeria is not by any happenstance. It is still part of the effort that have been made. Otherwise, he would have been here. There was a plane that was taken to Benin Republic. The former chief of army staff, Buratai, is the Nigeria's ambassador to Benin Republic. They had stationed an aircraft to bring him back to this country. We had to do what we had to do to make sure that he is not bundled back to Nigeria. And like I said, I wish Jabele was here with us this evening to have corroborated everything. We speak to him when we want to, and we send people to him when we have to. In the last 1 month, I can mention the name of the person that has gone from us to him, Dele Ashaju, and he has seen him 3 times already. So we are involved in making sure that nothing happens to him. And we have to do that without any kind of fanfare or any idea or somebody taking glory. In fact, it is on Yoruba for anyone to try to take glory for anything done for the Yoruba. So I'm particularly going to insist that we will find a way to still have another program. And I want Gbode to be there because our people must know. In the afternoon, I sent a link to you, madam.
Yes, sir.
The link, I don't know whether you opened it.
I think I did. About the lawyer. Is it about the one about the lawyer, right?
About something that happened that somebody said, thank my egbon for me for what he did, that he cannot go into the very sensitive situation. But I can easily just say it. Somebody, a Yoruba man who owns a farm in Okeogun, had his farm invaded by the Fulani, and he was infuriated. And he took his gun and shot one of them dead. And he was taken to the police headquarters in Ibadan. And I was called. And this thing I made sure did not get into the press. I made sure did not get into the social media, because that is when we will have trouble. That is when Abuja will come in. And that is when we won't be able to do what we had to do. But the person who wrote, he said, I can't go into it, but if not for what Egbon Magaji did, this man would still have been there. We got him freed because we had to call in the government of Oyo State. We had to call in Amotekun. We had to go into serious strategy. And we got the man freed after 3 days. If you check what happened in Igogon, when OPC went and arrested, so to say, Wakili, many things happened during that operation. Lives were lost. The OPC guys were locked up, charged for arson, charged for murder, but we got them out. We didn't have to make noise. Nobody had to take credit for it. But we knew the mechanisms to put into place because we've been there for so many years. We know this is something that has happened before. It's like you going to a medical doctor, asking the doctor, do I have an ailment that can be healed? And the person says, okay, yes. And then you want to know how it is done. So the Yoruba are losing out because it has not become like competition. And it is unfortunate. We got the OPC guys out, and Wakili is still there. This is something that in the normal Nigeria would not have happened. Abuja will have come into it, and all manners of things will have happened, and those boys will still be there. So we must make sure that the Yoruba remain, these people infused with strategy, infused with the kind of strategy that can get us out of this quagmire and give us our freedom without having to put anyone in the arm's way. That is my submission.
Thank you, sir. If you are just coming in, we are talking about Sunday Adeyemo, that we know as Sunday Igboho or Sunday Osha. The incarceration. Why is it incarcerated? I also want, before I go forward, I wanted to make sure that we realize things that are going on Sunday Igboho. I got one of these things that they share on WhatsApp, a news about the Babalawo who has never met Sunday Igboho, and they went to his house in Ekiti to accuse him that he was Sunday Igboho's Babalawo who has been doing juju for Sunday Igboho. So this evidently shows us that there is a problem. If they can go to the Babalawo to arrest him and accuse him that is the one protecting Sunday Igboho, after Sunday Igboho has been incarcerated for months, that is number one. The lawyer representing Sunday Igboho, Olugbagensi, of I'm terrible with uncommon names. So this man resigned and put it out that he's not representing Igboho. So things are happening. Baba Mogaji, things are happening that is telling us that there is danger. That there is danger. And my people, Yoruba people, they will say, I mean, we know that, I mean, you have made us realize how much effort Afenifere is doing now. They are doing this, they are doing that. But I hate to throw in a proverb in front of you. Yoruba people will say, that is, you can't go to somebody and say, oh, I nearly killed that animal. Then that person will say, what am I going to eat? I would have preferred you kill the animal and bring it. So where are we going? We have seen the like in the past. People were saying that if people made enough effort to get MKO Abiola out when he was incarcerated for nothing, for claiming his mandate, this man would probably be alive now. We are doing this 8-2-8-2. Who is that? I'm going to let you talk. But let me. Okay, yeah, we have to do it line by line. So now, okay, I am going to call the Amoye to throw their questions to the panel. I'm going to call the Amoye to ask questions because Afenifere is our leading organization. When they talk about Yoruba in Nigeria, the first thing that comes to mind is Afenifere. I grew up to know that. But Afenifere, we rely on them to be able to save us. We call them one of the major Ajijagbara. And unfortunately, in Yoruba, in Nigeria, and all over now, I calculated, we have about 72 Ajijagbara group. So the question is, if Ajijagbara cannot Jijagba one person, how are they going to Jijagbara for the whole Yoruba nation? Now, Baba Adenira Adeboye, you're on the floor, sir. If you have any question. If you don't have any question yet, I'm going to go to another member of the Amoye. Baba Adeboye, are you ready for your question for the panelists? Or do you want me to go somebody I can come back?
I better pass. I was going to make comments, but I wait until questions have been asked. I'll make a comment about the whole thing.
Okay, yeah. Do you have a question for the panelists? Yeah, Shoyinka. If not, I will go to the general, all other participants. Okay. Okay. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm a Falabaja, Shoyinka. Okay. Okay, I have questions too, but I'm going to yield to Alagba Folajogun. What is your question? Oh. And who do you, and let me know who you want to answer the question, who your question is going to be directed to.
Well, I think I thank you for asking me to ask a question. I think my question is to Chief Mogaji, maybe Madam Lukoya as well. Thank you both for what you are doing. I know Chief Mogaji is a little bit sort of doesn't want to give details of what is being done in the behind the scenes, which I think is very, very correct. But my question is probably just in two parts. Have we got a think tank that are actually working on how we can continue to let the present government that Sunday Igboho, that all the Yorubas, both at home and in the diaspora, are behind him, and that nothing must happen to him. And we should not let this just go to lie down, follow. We need to keep reminding them regularly and even putting pressure on them so that they will not just forget him there. And then secondly, if he's going to be released, why can he not go back to Nigeria? Why should he be? Well, because once they manage to send him out of the country, that is just as good as killing him as well, because they would never let him come back. So thank you.
I thank you very much for your questions. Please just allow me a little bit of a digression.
Yeah.
If two people take their case to the police and the two parties are busy shouting on each other, I don't know whether you've noticed, the police are so well trained in psychology. They will say, hey, don't stop, don't shout, go and stand in one corner. It's because they know that there's no reconciliation at that time. When an hour has lapsed or two, then among themselves, you will see them saying, you are the reason why we are here. Now we are wasting our time, something that we ought to have settled among ourselves. And then they will approach the counter and they say, look, your IPO has gone out. It's coming back later at 6 p.m. Of course, the IPO is around. But by telling them 6 p.m. and they've been there since 10, that is to tell them that we still have not seen in you the end of the controversy, so that we can now come in and make sure that things are right. So they will go back. But after about 30 minutes of nobody talking, then the policemen will realize that it is now time. They will now call them. Are you now ready for reconciliation? And as at that time, they have wasted 6 hours of their time. Nothing has been done. They want to get home. They are hungry. They'll say, okay, yes, now we are now ready. I think the Yoruba have to get to that level. Everybody is flexing muscle. We started a group called the Yoruba Summit Group in 2017 with 42 groups. Only 17 are left. People have gone on to try other things. So if you want to call people to come and have a think tank, they are still flexing muscles. They are still feeling big. Some are still thinking, oh, we have the answers. Some are still thinking they know the roadmap. Some are still thinking, oh, these people are our enemies. Koti Reja. When the Yorubas are particularly drawn to the wall, then you will see them come together. Then they will be able to reason. The think tank you are talking about will not happen. But right now, everybody is doing his own thing. And that is why I may have to just be mentioning Afenifere. Afenifere has not been known to collect 1 naira from anybody. In the diaspora, if anybody has said he has given Afenifere 1 naira, let the person come out. We don't take it because Awolowo will never do it. But when the others are collecting money and for whatever you are collecting money, you must be telling the people that this is what we are doing with the money. So they lie. They tell all manners of things. Yoruba is going to address United Nations. Of course, it's a lie. They will tell the Yoruba manners of things to justify why they are taking money. So what do? We can't call them at that time and say, let us talk, because they are busy chopping. So when we are all ready, when we are all like particularly now pushed to the wall, then we'll come together. That's the only time we can come together. Right now, each person is busy doing what he thinks he knows, he has the way, but I can tell you, none of the groups that call themselves the self-determination group has a roadmap to how to get Yoruba out of Nigeria. If they have it, let them tell us. They don't. And again, I said this, and Akogun Toladeni agreed with me on the forum. I said, it is going to be about dissolution of Nigeria. It is not going to be about somebody sitting down to say, okay, let us draw a map. And this is the Yoruba territory. Now you can go. Nobody's going to do that. The people that are leeches, that are feeding on us, our Papa 3 ports alone are giving this country 77% of non-oil revenue, and you want them to leave that? Our VAT is giving this country 85% of all the VAT collected. You want them to leave that? We have everything here in the Southwest. Those people have nothing. There is a state that contributes only 2%. The Yoruba, all the Yoruba states contribute 53.3% to the GDP. And you think they will simply just allow us to go? But if we work towards dissolution of Nigeria, then it will work. Fortunately, there are 6 zones. We have the Southwest, the Southeast, we have the South-South, and we have the Middle Belt. And these 4 zones will be meeting. Since 2017, we'll be meeting. We call it the SMBLF, the Southern Middle Belt Forum. And we are getting results. In fact, the Middle Belt of all the regions were the first to tell us they are not ready to go. The Middle Belt. But as the good Lord will have it, the Middle Belt became a theater of war. So now they are ready to go. The South-South, too, you will expect that they will, because of resource control, say they are ready to go. They said they are not ready to go. And somebody mentioned something earlier, which is very germane. If you go to the Middle Belt, they have over 300 languages there. They are not homogeneous. They are not like us. So the Ijaw will not want to submit to the Yoruba. Yoruba will not want to submit to the Shekri. Shekri will not want to submit to the Anang. The Afang will not want to submit to the Calabar. The Calabar will not want to submit to the Ekwere. The Ekwere will not want to submit to the Ogoja. Ogoja will not want to submit to Bayelsa. So a cacophony of voices is coming from the South-South, and the federal government knows how to go there and give them money. The Middle Belt too, they are not homogeneous. If you go to a state like Nasarawa, you won't believe it. The Egon, that's a tribe there. They constitute 68% of the population. The Fulani population there is only 8.9. Yet the Fulani will rule in Nasarawa. And the Egon will even voluntarily submit to the Fulani. So we have all manners of problems with those who wanted a Nigeria. I would not ever want us to go. But we now know that if you look at models like our own that have been able to dissolve, check out the Red Revolution. Please, sir, I want you to take down some of these things. Red Revolution, the Orange Revolution, the Velvet Revolution. We are talking about Georgia. We are talking about Czechoslovakia. We're talking about how these countries that were like us, some of them had only four zones, and only one zone wanted to go for over 80 years. You couldn't go. But then they teamed up with another zone, making 2. By the time the 2 said they are ready to go, then it became a problem. The Fulani government is happy today simply because there is discord among the zones. But let 4 zones, let even 3 zones come together and say we are leaving. Let us see what will now happen. So we have to push ourselves to the point where we must now submit our brains to the collective. Not that somebody is doing something here. Somebody is here, Ilano is here, the Directorate is here, and the rest of them, and we hope that we will get ourselves out of this rut. It's not going to happen. We must, all of us, submit to being Yoruba. When we submit to being Yoruba, then we will be able to sit down and look at it rationally. How do we get ourselves out of this rut? And then your second question, sir. Why is it that Igboho cannot come here now? Or why is it that you will have to travel to Germany? During the Abiola situation, Abiola was actually given a bail by Abacha. It was meant to have been released on a particular Tuesday. I will never forget this until I die. In fact, Opara said in one of his interviews that till the day he dies, he will regret advising Zik not to team up with Awolowo in 59. The same way, I know some people who will regret until they die that they advised Abiola not to take that bill. Because they said, oh, the bill comes with condition. There's no bill in this world that does not come with a condition. Even the idea of a bill is conditional. If it is not conditional, they will say, go. That you are on a bill is conditional enough. If Abiola had been given the bill like he was given, but some people went and said, no, don't take it. Don't take it. We'll fight on your behalf. At the end of the day, I will tell you, about 3,000 people started, after they started Nadeco. I hope you know that. We knew that Yoruba alone cannot do it. So we brought in other groups. In terms of number, we were no more than 3,000 when we started. But by the time we ended, less than 300 were remaining. But people don't know. Some left. Some that even advised Abiola to stay in jail, they left us. They said we are having no more. So if we are going to go by any theory by your delay, what we are working towards is the Benenua government releasing Igboho, and I will explain how that is going to work. What the Benenua government have told us is that their own judiciary is really separate. It is not like Nigeria that the judiciary is seemingly under the influence of the executive. That their own kind of system removes the executive completely from the workings of the judiciary. What the judiciary are holding Igboho for is that he entered illegally. That is what they are holding him for. And that is what they are trying him for. Now, Nigeria does not have a bilateral agreement with Benin Republic for extradition. So let us first thank God that we don't have. So Nigeria cannot go to the Republic of Benin and say, give us Igboho, because there's no pact between the two countries regarding extradition. But there is an ECOWAS pact. The ECOWAS pact says that only when you have a political situation or when you have a criminal conduct can you demand extradition between member states. And the political situation must be such that the person has committed a crime. They put that particular clause there. And that there is a crime committed already. Now, Nigeria has done something before. Nigeria went illegally into Benin Republic and removed a man called Tijan, who was a criminal. Without telling the Benenua government, they entered Benenua illegally. The man later died in our custody. But Nigerian they cannot illegally go to the court or to the jail of Benenua government and remove Sunday Igboho. They can't do that. But what they wanted to do, which they tried, was to force a case of criminality on Igboho. But thank God that Justice Oladiran Akintola had given a judgment against the federal government represented by the DSS in Ibadan. Armed with that judgment, Igboho cannot be termed to be a criminal. Rather, it is the Nigerian government that is in default. It is the Nigerian government that has been found guilty. And until they upturn that judgment, they cannot legally ask through the ECOWAS for Igboho to come. So what we are working towards is to get the courts in Benin Republic to free Igboho so that he can continue on his journey. He has valid residency in Germany. Okay. On that score, he can go to Germany and nothing will happen. What they are holding him for is the battle to explain how he got into Benin Republic. That is the only thing that is happening. And when you say that it is better for him to come back to Nigeria, that if he goes to Germany, it is like they have killed him. No, sir. Wani Mojamosa, la fi mọ akíkanjú. I don't know how to explain that in English. Akíkanjú tó mọ̀jà tí ò mọ̀ sá, ó ṣe irú wọn ló máa ń bá ogun bòmíì lọ. We must first get Igboho out first.
Right.
Let him go to Germany. Now we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. When Abacha died, the struggle was such that the Afenifere then said, we have had enough of Nigeria. We are leaving. And Abdul Salam was like, sorry, don't go. And we are saying we must go. It was on that basis of how they have ill-treated Abiola that made the Afenifere then to ask that the Yoruba must go. And Abdul Salam made the mistake of even trying to offer Afenifere money then. And if I'm lying, please ask from Jimmy Agbaje, because Jimmy Agbaje went with Papa Desanya and the other leaders. I mean, he's on my age.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm asking you to make a request to call Jimmy Agbaje to come.
Okay.
So Papa Desanya said, I'm going to expose you to the whole world that you tried to bribe us. Now, what happened immediately after was the promise that, oh, Baba, I'm the one that is the president. I'm the head of state now. We will make sure that the Yoruba are kind of taken care of. We will allow you to avenge Abiola's death and the presidency. So we will make sure that the next president comes from Yoruba land. We will make sure that no other tribe rises up, no other ethnicity rises up to contest. So it will be a Yoruba affair. Now, if we had insisted we were going then, maybe it would have worked. But based on what? Like I said, we were less than 300 left. Based on what? Did we have the manpower in terms of ability to fight? Did we have enough arms and ammunition to fight? If we continue to insist and they get the Igbo and they get the other people to back them up against us, it will be another kind of situation in which the Biafrans found themselves in 1967. But then what we said was, give us this constitution that will be representing. They didn't allow us to see the constitution. And look at the defective constitution they brought. And yet, a Yoruba man became president. But did it help the Yoruba? No. So this time around, we must not be taken for granted. We must not take ourselves for granted. We must be able to know exactly what we are doing. We must not take any palliative. We must be able to put a think tank together to decide for the Yoruba where we want to be and how to get there. There has to be a plan. We must know how to accomplish it and what are the mechanisms that we must put in place to get the Yoruba out of this situation called Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Alagba Dokita Folajogun. Please, just one. I wanted to raise this question before I forget and before we get where is about Igboho going to Germany or going to Nigeria. Everybody has the freedom of movement, especially if that person is in danger. And Igboho was in danger. We could see by the way they killed people. That was why he fled. That was why he left Nigeria. Now, I think if the Cotonou people want to be honest and be fair, if first of all, if they accuse him of entering Cotonou without a valid paper or whatever, I think he can do that if he is in danger. That is what they call political asylum. And if that is granted, they should be able to let him go to where he believed that he could be safe. So the point now is, why are our Yoruba leaders not fighting for that, for him to be released and be allowed to go to wherever he wants to go, even if he wants to go back to Nigeria on his own? Why are we not fighting on his release from Cotonou?
Thank you. Sister Shola, can I just quickly ask our father who spoke now?
No, not yet, because there are other people
Okay.
raised hand before you.
No,
Let
no
him
problem.
answer that question,
Yeah.
and we'll go to.
Thank you.
We'll go
Okay.
back to Egma. Yes, I'm with you. Is it difficult for any Egbe to just do whatever they can do and secure his release? Because what we are hearing from outside is it is Nigeria government that is asking Cotonou to detain him, because Cotonou could release him and let him go to Germany. Was that a difficult thing to do? Sir. Can you hear me, sir?
My brother is here. My brother Akib, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to see your face.
Good to see you too. Happy New Year, my brother.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Akib that you are seeing is also a veteran of June 12, so he knows exactly what I've been talking about.
Somebody down.
Question, sir. Did you hear my question, sir?
The answer from question yet. No. I want the answer from question to be low one. But the answer mo ti gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ ni mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ ẹ́ tó bá mọ wájú àmọ́ ìmà. Ẹni tí wọ́n sọ yẹn, question tí mo fẹ́ bèrè ni wípé ṣé àwọn tí ò bá gbòòwò sọ̀rọ̀ ò lè represent ẹ̀ mà wọ́n bá Afẹ́nifẹ́re ò tí ì bá Ìgbòho wọn ọ̀ràn yàn sí Ìgbòho wọn bá sọ̀rọ̀.
Lọ́yà Táyọ̀ Ògèdèngbé.
Ejo, please, Eja can answer Tayo. Please ask Igboho if you have any ability to talk to him. In the last 3 weeks, Papa Adebanjo has spoken with him twice through his wife, and if
That's not right. I've just spoken,
is somebody you are talking to, please, if you've just spoken with him, did you ask him that? And please ask him if Dele Ashadu has seen him in the last 1 month. How many times? Please, I know when Papa Adebanjo was even telling him that I was there. When he said, I will not beg for you because he didn't do anything bad. He spoke to him in my presence.
Okay.
I will not come here to come and lie for any reason. I'm not here to come and lie to anyone. I have said the truth. And please, if you have any opportunity to reach Igboho, tell him that this is what I said.
Magaji, Shambami.
Bongo.
My question is there a way that all the Yoruba elders and the Yoruba working groups can team together and secure his release? What can we do to make that happen?
I have given an idea that when the time truly has come for the Yoruba to come together, naturally they will find themselves. But just like somebody has come now to say that Afenifere has not seen Igboho, it simply means that we are not ready. I will not come here to come and lie. I will not sit down with someone who will come here and say that Afenifere has not seen, has not spoken with Igboho, or have not sent people to Igboho. I will not, because it will only be a waste of time. That means that we are not ready.
Okay, sir. Baba Adeboye, your hand is up, sir. Do you have a question or contribution, sir?
I have contribution. I crave a little bit of indulgence.
Okay.
A young man who was president of United States went to Africa and met African leaders in Accra. And
that was
said,
Obama.
And he said, and I quote, that what Africa needed were strong institutions, not strong personalities. So all the military leadership, the this, the that, and the muscle flexing people amounted to nothing in terms of stability and development, nothing in comparison to what they could become if they had strong institutions. So when Magaji was talking about what we needed, it was right on the money. And what we have been fooling around with are strong personalities, Awala Wambe. So at the stage where we have put our institutions together to make them strong, we will de-emphasize the personality. Yoruba agenda, Yoruba destiny will be something that we all understand as a mutual commitment, and we will make progress. Now, to be talking about leaders now is difficult because it is so easy to confuse leaders with dealers. The same set of letters was scrambled. What we have without having a major institution are personalities that are either leaders or dealers or mixed together. There will be leaders among them, but they are difficult to tell away from the dealers. So we must be patient, we must work harder, and that's where we are. Now, for Sunday Igboho, let it be abundantly clear that he's a hero, that Sunday Igboho is a hero. People will be talking about, if you could have done this, could have done that. What are you talking about? Ewo the worship. So there are things that he might have done that somebody will regard as excellent, another person will regard as a mistake, but he did everything in a struggle to bring peace, prosperity, and good governance to Yoruba country. So to me, he's a hero no matter which way things play. Now, what should we be doing now? I learned a lot before now, and I learned a lot today about what has been done. Leave Igboho alone since Benin Republic is not getting ready to throw him out. And somebody started a proverb where a fufu fe or anika compete. Well, a fufu ti fe for Nigeria. Nigeria is a country, not a nation. And the country need not survive because countries are created artificially by human beings. It is nations that are created by nature. So if a nation wants to be no longer part of a country, that's not so strange. And if the Yoruba are going to be successful in not being Yoruba nation, is going to be successful in no longer being part of Nigeria or even Dahomey or both. That's not strange. So we just work at it and we justify it. And things will happen as they have happened in other parts of the world. In the last 100 years, the Bolshevik Revolution, the Chinese Revolution, the this revolution, the that revolution, they've changed the map of the world. Even since I was a little kid in high school, the map of the world has changed. Why? Because human beings, nations want peace and prosperity for themselves, no matter what arrangement powerful structures want to force on them. So let's face that. Now, when it comes to suffering, I am very sorry for Sunday Igboho, but he belongs in a class of people who have suffered in search of peace and plenty for their own nations. Nelson Mandela, Obafemi Awolowo, even Wole Soyinka was in jail most of the period of Nigeria's civil war. And now, what's his name? Bishop Tutu. Look, we have had people come and go that are heroes. So I don't want to pay for Sunday Igboho, but I think if we endure some now, it's not unique. People who are fighting for survival, continuance, and the prosperity of their people sometimes suffer. End of game.
Thank you. But the question is he safe there? Because Magaji has enlightened us that Olegba ni Kutonu and Nigeria, that they are like 50-50. So because people are quiet now, so can we say that this man will continue to be safe there when people are not saying anything?
He is as safe as we can make him. John Kennedy was president of the United States. On November 22, 1963, he wasn't safe. Ronald Reagan was president of the United States. He wasn't safe. So what I'm saying is this. Anybody is as safe as we can make him. If we are not able to keep him safe in Nigeria, let him remain in Benin Republic. If we are not able to keep him safe in Benin Republic, let him go to Germany. If Germany is a place where you can, there's no place where anybody is really 1000% safe. There's only whatever security you can arrange for them. I'm not being nasty. I'm just saying, let's face the truth the way it is and work hard at getting results and not worry too much about things that we are not necessarily going to be able to make effective change.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. If I go to Dahomey carrying guns to protect Sunday Igboho, they can easily arrest me and talk about I was trying to talk to the government. That's what happened to Awolowo. His party started to train people, and they said, he's training people in Ghana so he could topple the government of Nigeria. It is a lie. We're stuck, put him in jail for 10 years. So let's just know where we are going. Most of what we are discussing are Ariwoja. I suppose anytime Banaja.
Okay, sir.
I'm going to. Folajogun Oluwajana may correct my Yoruba now.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to call him Alagba Oluwajana. After that, it will be Mr. Adeyinka Olaya from Brazil. Alagba Folajogun Oluwajana, please complete your. You are trying to finish up something so we can go to somebody else.
Happy New Year, Sao. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Chief Mogaji, thank you for your explanation. And I mean, it was a bit long, but you came back to the same conclusion that we need a think tank and that we. So what I want, when are we going to get into that stage that you enumerated and say we've not got to it, but when are we going to get
and what can we do to get there?
We already have one.
Sir.
We have a think tank, Odua Foundation.
But he is talking about think tank that will comprise the big Egbe like right?
Yeah, it's a sort of aggregation.
I have answered you, and I don't want to repeat myself. I've answered you. I said, so when we stop deceiving people, when we stop deceiving ourselves, when we know that there is no magic anywhere, when we know that it is not going to be about my group against your group, when we know that it is Yoruba first, then we will all gravitate towards each other. And until that is done, we are not going to be able to be successful in getting people together. Like, you don't know how bad I feel inside, because I came here with only one weapon, and that is the truth. And that is the only thing I owe people. I didn't start with joining any group. Like I said, my group is 70 years old. You go through a period of tutelage. They test you for 9 months. You must have read at least 10 out of 16 Adbafemi Awolowo's books. You must be able to prove yourself to be someone that is trustworthy before you are even accepted. I've risen to the pinnacle. I'm a member of the ESCO. I cannot come here and lie. The only thing that can happen with Afenifere is that if you lie and they found out, you are out. What offense did Jakonde commit? Baba Tope? Just because they stayed put in Abacha's government and they said, leave, they were out. One simple mistake, you are out. So it's about dedication to a cause. It's about staying true. To thyself be true.
Yeah.
If we are going to have to come together, it will have to be on the basis of truth. We are going to have to open up to each other. We have to do a SWOT. Our strengths, our weaknesses, the threats against us, and the opportunities that are in. We can only bond together if we come in total love and devotion to fatherland. That's the only way.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm not disputing anything that you're saying, but I'm just saying from your experience, how long do you think this is going to be then?
Well, I guess we are getting there.
Okay.
In truth, we are nearer there today than we were yesterday.
Okay.
1 year ago, 2 years ago, when new groups were coming up, it was as if, oh, they had all the answers. It was as if they knew all the moves. It was as if it was only a matter of time to get Nigeria out. But the truth, the dawn of awakening is now happening to everybody, knowing fully well that a year or two is never going to be the determinant about how a group operates or how to keep a group or how to even keep the Yoruba principle, the ethos of the Yoruba, the Omoluabi ethos. It takes a long time of formation. So now I guess people are going to be more circumspect. People are going to be more rational. People are going to be more truthful. So if there is something that happened in 2017 happening all over again, it will work. And let me tell you what happened in 2017. Everybody, even certain people here, unless you want to tell lies, fell for the Abacha scam. We didn't. We knew Abacha was going to be a bad news for Nigeria. And we said no to Abacha. No to Buhari, rather. We said no to Buhari. We knew what Buhari was coming to do. We knew he was coming to divide us. We knew he didn't have anything in his brains to run a modern nation. We knew it was going to be sectional. We said everything, but we had to leave people to follow their conviction. They were convinced Buhari was going to do it. But as early as 2017, Papa Adebanjo realized that people are now getting to see that Buhari cannot do it. So he called everybody together, including the state governors who are APC. He called all of them. He called the vice president. Look, nobody is coming to ask for the hand of Fayemi in marriage. I'm a man, and I don't do men. I'm not going to ask Akeredolu to be my girlfriend. But the real politic is to call all Yoruba together. It didn't matter where you belong. This man is not steering the ship of state right. The Yoruba nation is going down. What do we do? And that was what happened in Adamasingba in year 2017. 35,000 people filled that stadium. And we all came out with one voice. Now, it's getting to that level that we will have to call ourselves again. And then people will answer. If somebody people have tried to call me into their groups, and I've told them I cannot belong to your group because I have my reservations about your group. And of course, later they came back to tell me, oh, you told us things were not going to go well. But I knew because I'm only talking from experience. And it is experience that will make me to say again that it is now time that we can begin to talk about us coming back to the basics. Irọ́ ti tán báyìí. Mi ò rò pé wọ́n flow mọ́ bí bó ṣe ń flow látijọ́. So now we can easily understand each other. We can put everything on the table. We can now talk. But while some people are eating and chopping, they will not listen.
So,
Anyway,
okay, before we leave,
with you later on.
Okay, yeah, we do that later on. Let me call other people. Eshe, Gbode Yinka from Brazil, please go straight to your question because our time is fast spent and we are trying to leave.
Emma, okay. Sorry, I have to thank you for the opportunity, actually. I'm Gbode Yinka from Brazil. I'm a journalist and an activist. I've been following the explanation from Baba Mogaji. I'll ask him a question. Another question goes to Otumba Olashadino.
Then let's go.
Sir, you started your talk from the beginning, beginning that Benin Republic is practically the 37th state of Nigeria, and Chief Igbo shouldn't have passed through Benin Republic because Nigeria is in control of that country. And you made mention again while explaining that the Nigerian government or thereabout actually at the time kidnapped somebody under the hostage of Benin Republic. Now, with all this you have said, that a 37 states controlled by Nigeria, with all this you have said, do you think Afenifere can make any effective change, can do anything while Nigeria is in control? Knowing that, quoting what you have said, that the country is the 37th state of Nigeria, where Nigeria rules even in the government of the country. That's for you, sir. Then to
Madam.
Well, the situation about the solution right now. The solution will be that all those who know what to do should continue. We have done something. I don't want to go into the details, but I can tell you that we prevented the federal government from taking Igboho from Benin Republic. Immediately he was arrested. We prevented that. But like I said, the Benin Republic, the Beninois government said that their own judiciary is quite separate and that the president cannot simply just order the courts to say, release him. It may happen in Nigeria, but it doesn't happen in the Francophone country like that. That is what the Republic told us. In fact, one of the lawyers that attended to Igboho in Benin Republic told us that himself, that here you do not have executive interference. Simply put, all the effort we can put in with the Beninois government not releasing Igboho, we have done. What is left now is the judiciary to be convinced that Igboho has not contravened any law. And like our moderator said, when somebody is running away from trouble, from harm to himself, it is about self-help. That is what led him to Benin Republic, because he's been persecuted in Nigeria. And what other evidence do we have, more than the fact that they went to his house and killed people, destroyed his house, and then there is a judgment. So in which case,
all these things you have said, sir, what I'm saying actually is, you said that the country is the 37th state of Nigeria. Do you think all your efforts in that country, do you think that effort can bring anything good? Since Nigeria is in control, even if the country is not submissive to whatever judiciary executive, like you're saying.
I am very, very sure of one thing. Igboho will not be extradited back to Nigeria. That I am sure.
No, yes. That's what I'm trying to say is.
And in terms of our effort, you see, you want to force me to divulge certain information, which I'm not prepared to.
I'm a journalist. I have to ask you, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Olayinka,
let's listen. When you ask questions, I will appreciate if we let him finish the explanation.
Okay. Can I help?
There is a limit to what anyone can say. Even in America, they plead the fifth. If I begin to now tell you how we made sure that Igboho remains in Benin Republic, even though there was an aircraft sent there, how we made sure that Buratai was not able to carry out a clandestine kidnapping of Igboho, I will have to be mentioning time, situation, name.
No, don't go there.
That will not be good for Igboho himself, and it will not help. It will not help. Excuse me. It will not even help our effort with the Beninois government, because we will not be seen to be circumspect. We have the ability, we have the capacity to have done what we did, and we did. And we even employed others outside of this country to make sure that we do that. Don't forget something. The organization I'm talking about is 70 years old. During NADECO, we had liaison with many countries. We are friends with many presidents in the world. Recently we wrote a letter to Mrs. Sojourn, who just became the Premier of Scotland. And it's because we have a relationship. When Carrington died, the wife sent us something, and what Afenifere sent on the day of the burial was read to everyone. So we have that capacity. But I'm not the one who is going to come here to tell you what we did. It will be wrong. It may be to satisfy your own journalistic inklings, but it will be particularly wrong to divulge secrets.
Okay.
And it will not even help. And it will not even help Igboho himself. And again, our partnering with the Beninois government will be in jeopardy.
Okay. Can I help you?
Please, sir.
Yes. Mr. I didn't get the name.
Adinkolaya.
Yes, Inkolaya. I'm sitting here in Baltimore, Maryland, which is part of United States. There are times when we say that Canada is the 51st state of United States. And Canadians don't always set themselves up to deny that. But Canadians sometimes exercise independence that makes sure that the United States is not always making all their decisions. So when Mogaji said that Dahomey is the 37th state of Nigeria, that may be true 80% of the time. It is the 20% when it is not true that they are exploiting.
Sir, but he said, sorry, sir, he said at the time, the government of Nigeria actually kidnapped somebody.
Well, government kidnapped people from everywhere.
Can I answer that, sir? The person they kidnapped was an armed robber from Niger who was domiciled in Benin Republic. They kidnapped him on the street. But right now, Igboho is in the custody of the Beninois government. In which case, are you going to expect Nigeria to carry the military to go and force their way into a government? They force their way into a government institution of another country. Even United States of America will not do that.
Okay, let me take another question. Our time is fast spent. Mr. Waleoni, you are here. You have the floor, sir.
Yes, thank you. My question to Mogaji, thank you very much, sir, for all your explanation. My question is that while Chief Sunday Igboho is being held in Benin Republic, the Fulani government is very happy to carry on with election plans in Nigeria. So INEC has already announced the 2023 timeline of elections. Are we not taking our eyes off the ball? Afenifere, I can remember Papa Adebanjo saying that Afenifere will not encourage Yoruba people to vote under the 1999 constitution. But because of all this problem with Igboho in Benin Republic, election plans is going on in Nigeria, and I'm sure the Fulani are quite happy for that to carry on. Are we not taking our eyes off the ball, or should we be concentrating on both? Are the Yoruba going to vote in 2023 while Gbode is
okay, let him answer
held?
that question, those questions.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, the truth of the matter is that Afenifere does not want any part of the 1999 Constitution. We don't want any part of it. But we have many other interests and interest groups. We have political parties. And the primary function of a political party is to seek for power. Now, the election process in Nigeria is fraught with all manners of evil, including money. In any state election, for the gubernatorial election in any state, you'll be hearing of billions of naira. The billions of naira spent in Ondo or in Ekiti is not going into the pockets of the politicians alone. They are being aided and abetted by the populace. Now, if I go to my local government and I say, I want to do mobilization to stop the people from going to stand for election to be voted for or to vote, the question they're going to ask me is, how much is the need for us, Mogaji? Am I the one who's going to pay 5,000 or 10,000 on the day of election? If I'm not going to be able to give them that, then how are they going to listen to me? The only thing I can do is to appeal to their sense of justice, of sense of morality, and to make them realize that by selling their tomorrow for 5,000, they may not be able to retrieve it in 50 years. We are doing the best we can to get the people to know that this 1999 Constitution will not work. We are doing the best to even influence the Southwest governors so as to do our bidding. And you'll be surprised that the move on that was from us. The move that we should be called regions and not zones is from us. And the governors are listening to us, but we don't own them. They belong to their parties and there is party supremacy. But what they can do for Yoruba land, they are trying their best to do. If they are found to be dancing too much to us, this government of the day can simply bring a state of emergency anywhere in the Southwest. And they have even been cautioned on Igboho. They have called our Obas and cautioned them on Igboho. That is to tell you how far the Fulani government has gone into intimidating the Yoruba. But we will continue to say what we have to say. Like we said in 2015, don't vote for Buhari. Like we said in 2019, don't vote for Buhari. We will say again, do not participate. But we cannot force these people. We can only appeal to what we think is the Alajobi in us. Some will listen, but I'm not sure that everybody will listen to us. But we will not stop. We will not be discouraged. We will continue.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You. I'm going to call another member of the panel who want to add something to this, and after that, I will call Dr. Akibu to ask a question. Dr. Akimbola, do you have a take?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ma. I just wanted to chime in, and I thank everyone who has spoken up now. And you know, the fact that Igbo remains locked up due to no fault of it has made me really very invested in the outcome of this meeting. And what I would like to suggest before I throw out a few other points is that I would like us to, within today's meeting, identify some kind of, on a volunteer basis, some kind of ad hoc group. And when I talk about this, I'm looking at a situation where those that represent Yoruba self-determination groups or similar entities that are here today, I think at least as many of them as we can get to volunteer, I would like to be able to have us at least invite them. So a critical mass can really say that we really want to be able to look at today's meeting, not about Yoruba nation in the general frame, but the fact that Gbode is still locked up. This is very important to me. So in which case, if we have a collection of those that represent groups, as well as individuals who are in this meeting, who I know are very passionate about this issue, and feel helpless that we don't seem to be doing something collectively. So this, in my own view, will make me leave this meeting and I'll have some satisfaction that at least Abere Nkoko and the big gentleman yẹn ṣe máa lè jáde kúrò nínú ìtìmọ́lé òun ni priority wa. So please allow me to drop that. Now, I would like to make a few points. And one of the points I'd like to make is that I've come to the conclusion that the Yoruba, the mass of our people cannot rely on the Yoruba elites, in particular the elderly Yoruba elites, to save them from the current situation. I believe that the process through which we will get out of where we are now will require that those people that are the main subjects of the oppression become the ones that we will have to position to be able to get their freedom. And so, but let me just throw that out there for right now. Now, a lot of discussion has gone on involving Afenifere and what are they doing, what are they not doing. And I guess we just need to face the facts. The facts are that before we can begin to talk about strategy for the Yoruba movement, the freedom movement, we have to come into some agreement as to what exactly do we want. I give this example very often with one of my friends. Nígbà tó bá ń sọ fún mi pé ibì kan náà gbogbo wa ń lọ, and I'll correct him pé no, ibì kan náà kọ́ là ń lọ. Because téèyàn kan bá gbé ẹsẹ̀ lé ìkejì lọ́rùn, ẹni tó gbé ẹsẹ̀ lé lọ́rùn àti ẹni tó fẹ́ kó tó gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé lọ́rùn, ẹ lè níbì kan náà wọ́n lọ. So I'm saying that to say that the process of developing a cohesive, well thought out critical mass for our freedom has not yet emerged. And one of the reasons it has not emerged is that the kinds of truth we should be saying to each other, we have not really begun to say it. I like the fact that Omoluabi ethos has been brought into this dialogue. And I was talking to our moderator about this just yesterday or so. It seems to me that a lot of those Omoluabi ethos have just been very carelessly thrown around by our leaders and politicians. When I go back to look at those ethos, I can't help thinking that if we would just agree to abide by a fraction of those, Yoruba land will not be the way it is. So I guess I would just like to encourage us to be very patient with ourselves, to recognize that the life of an individual is on the line right now. And even while we may not be in agreement as to how Yoruba land will emerge or what will make it emerge, my hope is that at a personal level, we will come to recognize that if this man was our brother or our father or our cousin, our attitude to it will be different. My own experience has been that most of my Yoruba colleagues that I interact with have little or no involvement in what is going on. And so why are we not able to make progress? Because some of the very fundamental structures we need for this struggle have not been able to.
Okay, thank you. Now, I am going to be apportioning time and minutes so we can wrap this up. Dr. Akibu, half a minute for your question, and then you will get 1 minute full answer. Let's go.
Thank you very much. Mogaji, your analogy, the police analogy was great. But if we wait until we forever before we come together, I think a lot of things will have lost a lot of things.
So what is your question, sir?
My question is this: if Afenifere was able to bring different organizations together to form NADECO then. What is stopping them now from doing that, doing the same thing? Because the only two ways we can get this Yoruba nation is either through war or through referendum. No other options. Those are the only two ways. Either you get your freedom, your nation through a war or through referendum.
Okay, let him deal with that, please. Thank you. Let him answer that question.
My brother, you missed out the third one.
Okay, go ahead.
You missed out the third one. The third one is mass movement, mass mobilization to the level that there will now be chaos and then anarchy will follow. Now, let me explain something. The one of the war is a straightforward matter. The one of referendum, the question will now be, who is going to conduct it? I have spoken with a former presidential aspirant, and you know this story. I have spoken with a former presidential aspirant in America. He actually went to the poll but lost.
You asking questions?
And it was not because of me, it was because a friend of mine attends the same church with him, and that one had discussed Yoruba issues, and he said, I would like my friend to explain. After I explained, he said, there's nothing about the Yoruba that we don't know in the US. But you people have to create a crisis. You have to escalate the crisis to the level that the world will begin to listen to you. And it's on that basis that we may force the United Nations, which is the only organ that can organize a referendum, to come and do it. A lot has gone around about referendum to be carried out by governors here or by, we can't do it. There were two referendums in the history of Nigeria. The first was Northern Cameroons, which Awolowo fought for, and they became part of Nigeria. That is the Gongola area, Borno, Yobe. And then the Southern Cameroons, which Awolowo fought for within Delhi, but unfortunately we lost by less than 3%. Otherwise, Southern Cameroon will have been part of us. Both were supervised by the United Nations. So we are not dealing with the right kind of people. When we had a problem with Mr. Richards in 46 with his constitution, and Awolowo raised all the hell, it didn't take more than one protest for the British government to recall Mr. Richards, and then Mr. Macpherson was brought in and he gave us a brand new constitution, which was federal in 51. The one in 46 was unitary. And then more talks in London, 53. And then we had the Littleton Constitution of 1954, in which case, when they're dealing with human beings, they will listen to you. But you are dealing with the Fulani government that you expect that there will be a referendum without even a fight for it. Forget it. The one thing we need to do more is mass mobilization, mass movement. And I will give you an example. When Papa Awolowo wanted to form, he formed the socio-cultural group, which is Egbe Omodudua. But when he was going to transform that into a political movement, which was the action group, he had only 3 months to election. He knew that the NCNC were in the cities. They were in Abeokuta, Ibadan. Mention any city, that is the home base of the NCNC. He knew that if he goes to Ibadan, he will not be able to defeat the Kwenkele. But what did he do? He went to the provinces. He went to Okeogun, he went to Remo, he went to places that were not in the cities. Somebody, I think it was one of our elders here, who said, this fight is not the fight of the elite. We have to take it to the grassroots. We have to mobilize from there. It is this mass mobilization, just like the Agbekoya did in 1969. It has to come
that
from
that was what Igbo was doing. And by keeping him in Benin Republic, or by forcing him out of Nigeria, that has stopped the mobilization. The mobilization you are talking about will lead to referendum. There are only 2 means anywhere in the world that you're going to have a new nation. Either you go to war and one side win and the other side concede.
The Nigerian permanent representative to the UN is a Fulani. The undersecretary to the Secretary General is a Fulani woman. Take your
And
case to
also,
United Nations and it will not work. As at
how
now,
safe
we
was
create
Igboho
enough crisis.
in
We need to
Nigeria?
create enough crisis.
Igboho was running for his life. So how safe was the man in Nigeria? Anybody can have a movement springing up from anywhere. But where they went to his house in the middle of the night and killed 2 people, cold-blooded, what kind of movement will he be making there? They said a coward lives to fight another war. Are we not looking at it from that angle? Okay, I'm going to take another question so we can go. Bola Odia, I think that's a female, my sister, thank you. Okay, Bola Odia.
Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, hello.
Okay,
Thank
yes.
you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Let's go to
thank
the
you,
questions,
everybody.
please.
My question is this, it's very simple. Can't we borrow a leaf from what our brethren in the Southeast have done? Can't we borrow a leaf? Can't we look at, some of the things? I don't want to mention specifics here, but there are things that they have done to force the hand of the government in one way or the other. Can't we, whatever mass mobilization we're going to do, can't we borrow the sit at home? For example, start to campaign and mobilize for people to sit at home, because these politicians, they won't do anything until their hands are forced behind their backs.
Okay, let's
answer Ms.
Okay.
Odia's question.
Okay, yeah, let's give a Mogaji a break. Okay, yes.
And this is a point I was wanting to make before, but I think it's very timely to make it now. And it is talking about relational power. I've spent a little bit of time just kind of trying to better understand what relational power is and how we need it, and how the absence of that type of power in Yoruba land is puts us at a major disadvantage. When we think about, for instance, relational power, you'll be looking at the kinds of things that a church can do, or some other.
1 minute for that question.
Yes. So when you look at what's going on in the Southeast and why they are able to command that level of order and control, what has happened has been that one-on-one, they've been able to engage themselves, and they've been able to assure a critical mass where the community has confidence in what they are doing and is backing them. When you look at Yoruba land right now, you see that we are very far away from that. And so I would just say that we need to look at what are the fundamentals around which such a level of control can be wielded.
Thank you. Baba Benjamin Nesson, I've seen your hand up for a while. Can you ask your question, sir? Half a second question and 1 minute answer. Go ahead, sir. Time is going. We have to leave here at 6 o'clock. Yes. Baba, mute ara yín.
Bola Odia.
No, àwọn call. I want to sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọn. Okay. Baba Ẹ̀san. Okay. Okay. Baba Ẹ̀san. Okay.
I'm on mute now.
Question.
My question is a suggestion. I want to follow that woman's suggestion. Can't we organize a massive resistance, what they call passive resistance? The one that Mahatma Gandhi did in India. Let us see how we can go to the grassroots and organize a passive resistance. Maybe the Easterners may have started with the stay at home. Now they are conducting election in Ogun, Oshun and Ekiti. We can go there and say passive resistance. Nobody, because we are talking most of the time. We are not taking action. We should take action. They said some people are not in favor. Our Obas. If I go to my town and I tell the people, we will not go to Oba's house until he's with us. Nobody will go to Baba. So
thank you.
That we organize passive resistance.
Okay, that was a suggestion. Let me take questions. We are talking about Igbo's incarceration. Prince Adewale, we are going to the question. You have half a minute for your question. And 1 minute we answer it.
Thank you very much, ma. My question goes to Baba Mogaji.
Okay.
Since Afenifere have been fighting this Yoruba self-determination for over 70 years, and up till now, they've not been able to achieve for us. And now they have other different groups, self-determination, different groups. Can they see that as a strength for them to call them together and organize a proper, like one of our speakers said, like they arranged for Nadeco? Can they see it as a strength and then arrange for a proper platform where we all can speak at this, like one voice? If it's truly Afenifere is fighting for our self-determination.
We are planning to have a pan-Yoruba conference. We've already started making all the moves. We have identified those that we believe are going to be helpful. Even the fact that I'm here is part of the whole idea. We have had several meetings. We have a committee that is working on it. And before the end of the first quarter, I can assure you we will have yet another Pan-Yoruba conference properly organized, just like we had in 2017. And it is part of our effort to make sure that there's no election come 2023 and that we will not even be subjected to anything near what we have in the 1999 Constitution. It is something that we believe in, is something that we are going to do.
Okay, thank you.
Madam
Joseph
Shola,
Oladoshu, we have
Madam
to go to
Shola,
another
Joshua, question.
I'm going to call you. Alagba Joseph Oladoshu. Let's go to your question straight so I can take question from other people.
Yeah, thank you very much. The last response seems to have dealt with part of what I want to say. But what I want to say is that, for instance, the election of 2023 could be a rallying point. This situation which Alagba Mogaji has insinuated that we need to reach for us to come together. If we can't identify a number of groups that are now saying we do not want election in 2023, and let's come together and use that as a point of focus to rally us together.
My answer is simple.
Right.
Please Google the press conference that Papa Debanjo had about 2 months ago. In fact, we like to call the press conference his testament. We don't want to call it his last testament, but it's 93. And just like Papa Olowo said when he was 77, that what he's celebrating is his ultimate exit. Papa Debanjo has given us something for the whole Yoruba to think about at 93. And he said, Afenifere, he is going to lead the Yoruba to a mass boycott of the 2023 election. He didn't say he's going to lead.
That's wonderful.
I want you to please Google. I want everybody on this panel to Google it. And we have already set up a committee that is doing exactly that. He's going to call all the Yoruba together and he's going to bequeath that to the Yoruba as perhaps his last parting shot. That come 2023, there will not be any election. And it's going to mobilize the Yoruba to particularly reject the 2023 election.
Okay.
That's very good. Thank you very much.
That's very good. We're going somewhere.
Ṣé mo lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ question mi? Ẹ jọ̀ọ́.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n wo àwọn tó náwó kí n lè mọ ẹni tí mo máa.
Èmi náà ti náwó láti nǹkan ni.
Mo fẹ́ wo bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe náwó ní ṣísẹ̀ntẹ̀lé. Ọjọ́ ti lọ, a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí. Okay, Káyọ̀dé Ẹmọ́lá.
Yeah.
The question. Straight to the question, please.
Yeah.
We have to let Magaji go and rest.
It's going to. Uncle Mogaji, good evening, sir. It's. I will thank God. It's good to see you again.
Happy New Year to you.
I wish you all the best, sir. Mo fẹ́ bèrè nípa conference yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ ni, but I'm glad you've mentioned it because it's one of the questions I was going to ask. That is it not a high time we call for a Yoruba conference?
Did you read the? Did you watch the press conference? It was streamed live. Did you read the press conference?
I read it. I read it.
You didn't see that part? It is in 11 points. Baba made it point by point.
What I was going.
He said, "I'm going to lead the Yoruba. I'm going to mobilize all Yoruba. I'm going to call all groups, and we're going to sit down together. We're going to have a conference, and we're going to say that there will be no election in 2023." He said,
to be honest with you, sir, there's always been the fear that sometimes Afenifere will say things, and you begin to ask, do they really mean it or do they not? You are one person that I trust, and that's why I'm going to ask that if which is why I say a Yoruba conference. And when we are talking of Yoruba conference, those of us who sit on the fence of self-determination, for us to have a truly encompassing Yoruba conference and which will lead to the boycott of elections in 2023, I think everybody, both those people who believe in restructuring and people who believe in self-determination and everybody, we just need to have that Yoruba conference so that we can then fashion out a way for the Yoruba people.
I've said on many fora, and I'll say it again. The day Afenifere says that it is not interested in self-determination, that is the day I'm going to leave Afenifere. But I've been in Afenifere for 20-something years. Believe me, way back in 2017, we had a committee on self-determination. So it is not as if Afenifere will say something and it will do something else. If you have an example, please bring it out. I was nurtured, trained by Afenifere. And Afenifere will not say something and not do it. That I can tell you about Afenifere. If you find a way to bring out something, I will be glad so that we can both see it. It has never happened. When we said in 2017 that we must all come together, the nation is not being run well, the Yoruba must fight for restructuring. Believe me, a lot of people were against us. They were still for Buhari. And we called everybody up to the level of the vice president who sent Ojudu. And we have a way of mobilizing. We must call all of them are passed through us, or they have a lot of respect for Adebanjo, who has been in Afenifere since 1951 and only became acting leader this year. 70 years is what it took him. If it is about position, the man has never held any position in his life in politics. So what do you want? Integrity. That is what Afenifere is given. If Adebanjo says something as a leader, we all will follow him to the war front without even thinking, because we know that he stands for the truth. He has vowed that he will give that to the Yoruba. He does not know when Olodumade, but his testament, which some of us will say his last testament, is that he's going to organize the Yoruba. And a powerful committee is working on that. All the groups are going to be called, just like we did in 2017. All the groups are going to be called. And we are going to have to speak with one voice.
Okay, that is good. Alagba, Chris Akingbade, let's go straight to the question. We are winding up now.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you for coming, sir.
About quote Benin Republic.
Yes, so what I want to say is this.
Is it a question? I'm taking questions, sir.
Yes,
because
yes,
I don't want people to go away without asking questions when we are always just making comments.
What I'm saying is this. The leaders of Afenifere, they claim to be Awolowo followers. The leaders of self-determination group, they claim to be Awolowo followers. Then what is the problem between Afenifere and the leaders of self-determination groups? If both of you are following the same person, why is it so difficult for both of you to work together, for God's sake? Why can't you fashion out
ego and modus operandi? We don't collect money from anyone because we cannot be influenced. We do the best we can for the Yoruba, and you will not find any scandal. If Afenifere has only gone through 3 crises in 70 years, and it's always about those who had ego. If it's about those who are ready to conform, believe me, our deputy leader has been there for 45 years. He's even a KBSC. He will subject himself to the leadership. Dr. Okurumu has been there for 43 years. So we have the leadership that one can count upon. The others who, you see, there is nothing about self-determination that is different from what Afenifere is saying. But Afenifere knows that Yoruba cannot do it alone. We can't go out alone. We have to go with other people in support. Otherwise, our case will become like Ojukwu in 1967, and he couldn't go it alone, even though he had 15,000 soldiers. How many do we have? Even though he had all the guns, he seized NNS Ibadan. He seized 2 other ships. He seized 3 aircrafts. He bought 4. With all of that, he still could not take Biafra out of Nigeria. But what do we have? How many guns do we have? We have all this Fulani in the bush. But today, the Yoruba have been able to put up a Amotekun. They've been able to save the Yoruba from all manners of evil in the forest. We are doing it, and we are doing it most successfully, the Yoruba way. So the only thing that is wrong is ego. And those who want to be Omoba, don't conjure that defila. If we are all going to be leaders, for how long are we going to continue to be struggling about leadership? The idea is, if there is an Omoluabi ethos, just like my brother kept saying, the Omoluabi ethos will throw away money, will throw away position, will call for cohesion, and that is what we stand for. It is only when we can't find that we find problems in Yoruba land. And hopefully, it is when we push to the wall that we fight. When the Yoruba army faced the Fulani army in 1840, the Ibadan army was just about 2,000. The Fulani had 10,000. They knew that if they went headlong into the war and straight into the war front to confront the Fulani, they will all be killed. But what did Balogun Odenilo do? He decided that it was going to be by strategy. In the dead of the night, around 2 a.m., he set some horses on fire, distracted the people, manned all the exits, left only the way to River Oshun. And he was able to vanquish 10,000 Fulani soldiers. So the Yoruba are imbued with ability, and we need to rekindle what we have. Enough of ego, enough of competition. Let us come together as one and fight the common enemy.
Thank you. Professor Mayo Gedengbe,
thank you,
quick question.
That is what the whole thing is about. We need to come to a strategy right now before it is too late.
Okay, all right, yes.
Thank you very much.
Professor Mayo Gedengbe.
Sorry, madam. Please, I need to just say this. Kayode Emola is here. There was a group that offered me position, and I told Kayode was there. They said, I don't want any position. If we are fighting for the Yoruba, do not come to me with position. I have enough. In fact, what am I doing with position? Let's all do this job together. Kayode is here. Kayode Emola is here. Is a witness. Ego, we leave it behind, we will achieve a whole lot more.
Okay. Professor Mayo Gedengbe, what's your question, sir?
And Alagba Magaji Ekushe. I just
try to speak English so everybody can benefit.
I just ask one straight question, especially with regards to the activities over time within the Yoruba space. But the reality is, does the Afenifere have the mandate for from the Yoruba people? Number two, is Afenifere capable to meet the tail of the time? Three, in terms of, for example, this question of Sunday Igboho, we have that it's an international thing. It's a matter of opportunity cost. It's a matter of opportunity cost. Yoruba nation, although it's not yet declared, is proximal to Benin. Do we flex that? Let we know that Nigeria will not be forever, but as a place where we are today, that we have
Sorry, I think we lost the speaker. Okay, you are back, sir.
Oh, sorry. I don't know which one you had.
I got it to, when you talk about the Igboho thing, the Benenua problem, and then the international dimension to it, that was the last I had.
Yes, it's a matter of opportunity cost that nations play at the international zone. It's what do I gain, what do I lose? We have to, do we have any muscle to flex or shrink to pull to tell, not by voice of the mouth, being the people that, look, we are Yoruba, we made the proximal nation state forever with them. That
the one thing we don't have, one thing we don't have is money. And the political space now is all about money. And money has determined the trajectory from 2003. And the Yoruba have fallen into that ditch where the money bags have taken them. We don't have the money. But on the principles of Omoluabi, on the principles of Obafemi Awolowo, yes, we have that. And we believe that Otitolo Maleke, we've always believed that the truth will triumph over all the lies. And people have now come to see Tinubu for who he is. Before, it was a matter of Tinubu coming to fight Afenifere and then using money to gather and garner to himself support. But where is the support today? It is like a house built with brittle. Money, a small dew, and then it is falling apart. The Yoruba will have to decide for themselves going forward. And it is when we face an existential threat that we know how to come forward, how to come together. And right now, we're facing yet another existential threat. So I believe it is now that the Yoruba people will listen to us once again, because we've never deviated. And if I begin to tell you how some of us have been lured with money, with position, and we refused, and it's only because we want to serve the Yoruba, you'll be surprised. I made mention of Olubado calling me at 10 p.m. and giving me a message. And of course, if I wanted to betray Yoruba, I would easily have heeded. The fact is, I was able to say that to them, I'm able to say that to them. People know about this story. And that is part of what I enjoy, being able to play my role, the way and manner of the Awolowo. It is going to be difficult going forward in this particular dispensation where money rules. But at the end of the day, we believe that we will still achieve a whole lot for the Yoruba, in spite of the fact that we cannot compete with money. And we are never really daunted when people throw all manners of things at us. We even laugh. But call the Fulani, call the Hausa, call the Easterners, call the friends of this government and tell them who is the greatest opposition to Buhari. They will say is Afenifere. Because we tell the truth. In fact, I have gone on television to call him names. And here I am. Papa Debanjo has gone on television radio everywhere to call, he calls him the #1 enemy of Nigeria. So, but who has that kind of clout to say these things? Who has that kind of conviction to say this thing? Who will not think, if I say this, they will come and carry me? Or if I say this, I will not be able to access a loan. Or perhaps I won't be able to receive patronage. So we give all that we have, and that's what we do. The people are going to.
Okay, those of you are.
Can you please mute your mute and let's hear this thing?
No, you are covering everything now.
Please forgive me, sir. You can unmute now, sir. I'm trying to unmute you. You can unmute. Sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Sir, please go ahead.
I wouldn't know even where I stopped.
Yeah.
Well, I think I mentioned the question about the popularity of Afenifere.
I said what we don't have is money, and we are to compete based on money.
Excuse me, sir. This money seems our Achilles tendon. If you are using the same methodology like they are using to use money to lure us into doing things to work against us, I believe Afenifere could do better fighting an alternative way to reach out to the people. And then most of the glories that is being acknowledged here is a combined effort, especially during the Abacha years. So especially most of us in diaspora here, we are not directly members of or affiliate of Afenifere, but a combined effort achieved what we wanted. So the relevance of Afenifere, especially vis-a-vis what is coming to our shores now, is how popular that organization is by virtue of being one of the oldest institutions we have. But the relevance of Afenifere must be really, really emphasized if we want to reach anywhere. So we can't compete.
I will not be here if I'm not relevant. If Afenifere is not relevant, nobody will call me. And if you go to any place in Yoruba land, I mentioned Afenifere, I'm sure there's no corner of Yoruba land that you mention Afenifere that you won't receive positive responses, particularly in Oku land, in Kwara State. In fact, when we have meetings, we have people coming all the way from Delta. There's never any time we hold Afenifere meetings that the Shekiri do not come. They come. We have people coming from Edo who are members. Dr. Oluwayomi Ate, Femi Mokikon, they always come from Kogi, from Okunland. So CEO Adebayo always come from Jeba. So we have Afenifere everywhere. And these are people who will spend their money and time and come to Ogbo Ijebu, wherever they may find themselves. Every month we hold meetings. If it's not general meeting, we hold caucus meeting. And in fact, I hold 4 meetings every month. I hold meeting in Ibadan. I hold executive meeting with Papa Debanjo. We are only 9 at a part of the ESCO. I hold caucus meeting, and we're just about 16 in all of Yoruba land. And then the general meeting, which houses about 300. So I don't know what will make anyone to think that we are not relevant.
Well, sir, apparently.
Because everybody comes to us. Let an election come. Now, even Buhari himself has come to us before.
Okay, let's round it up.
Yes, I am
our time is for
I'm not contesting the popularity of Egbe Afenifere. I am just suggesting they have to do more for relevance, especially if you want.
We had a meeting in 2017, sir, at Adema Sigba Stadium. It was filled up with 35,000 people.
It means you're defending the status quo. I mean, I want you to open to what I'm really saying here, because
I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. If you are asking us to do more, of course, everybody has to do more. If you are going to be responsible for us, then I will be here.
Could I join this dialogue, please?
No, because if you do, then we won't hear. There it will be 3 people talking.
No, when you are done with those are talking.
Who is that?
Dr.
Dr. Akimbola?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. You are a member of the panel.
Thank
Yes.
you very much. Thank you. And this is
Let's just make it 1 minute.
Well, this is
because we have to
obviously
round up
a
now.
very significant dialogue.
1 minute, yes, sir.
Involving Dr. Gbode. And I was making a note here because he's very correct. And the note I'm making is really very respectfully with reference to Afenifere in particular and some of the other self-determination groups in general. I think that the disposition where we're offering automatic defenses in protecting either the organizations we represent or it's not a very healthy one if we are supposed to move forward. An institution like Afenifere, for instance, if you had to have a full dialogue as to people's perception, one of the takeaways that I have is that it would need to retool to transform into a modern institution. And we can have another day when we can unpack that. But like I'm saying, it's not only Afenifere. Respectfully, our co-panelists, you can't automatically offer explanations for everything that is going on in a way that would be perceived as Afenifere not being open to new ideas and fresh energy. And so I just wanted to leave everyone with that observation.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Sorry, madam. I'll just say one thing.
Yes, sir.
Afenifere is not an amorphous group that will just admit just anyone. Afenifere is a group that is based on the principles and teachings of Obafemi Awolowo. If anybody is ready to follow, it's not a very easy place to be because you can't make money and you can't make position. You are not going to be part of what is going on in the government. And one of the things that Afenifere abhors is Shekarimi. So if you are very okay with the principles of Afenifere, you are welcome. But we know that it is difficult for many people to believe in it because some people are looking for political patronage, they are looking for political position, and Afenifere cannot give you that. So those who join us, they join us wholeheartedly. We let them know. There is even a period of orientation for anyone who wants to join Afenifere. Before you can even come to the center, you'll have spent 1 or 2 years in your state and you'll have been assessed. So it's not an amorphous group of all comers, please.
Afenifere take the leadership, like they did on the Nadeco, because they have the leadership, they can bring people together.
So that we do it in a very orderly and decent manner. We've been here for more than 3 hours. Now I'm going to wrap up with 2 questions that any of the panelists can answer. We have so many organizations springing up all over, many of them changing names, many of them going through rebirth. All these organizations, they have not been able to do anything tangible, whether because they are not cooperative or they are too, they are dealing with other things. We don't know. Igboho is still incarceration for so many reasons. All these different organizations, are they helping our situation or are they hurting our situation? And then the second question is, what exactly do we have to put in place? Because I believe that if we cannot save one person, we cannot save Yoruba nation. We cannot get anywhere. What are the things that we need to do now to get things done? Open to all the members of the panel. If Magaji wants to take a break while we are wrapping up, or if anybody wants to answer, yes.
I have a question you haven't allowed me to ask. Please, just one question.
Before we forget, let's deal with these two questions from the to the panelists. What exactly are we supposed to do better to get things moving? And all these organizations springing up, are they helping or hurting? Magaji Edakun, please, sir. I tried to unmute you, sir. I think it should be done from your side.
Organizations will come and they should be welcome as long as the idea and the interest is in the total emancipation for the Yoruba people. They are welcome. We cannot in any way stop people from the right of association. But what is important is to be truthful. What is important is not to tell the Yorubas lies. What is important is not to fleece the Yoruba. When there is a situation, there is a situation. How do we face it? Let those who have ideas come, and let it not be as if somebody is charging Yoruba land for services that you are providing. Lately, I heard that somebody said, bring 10 million, I will give you Yoruba nation. And my question is this person a Yoruba or is he an Hausa or an Igbo that is a contractor that wants to deliver Yoruba and you must pay him 10 million? If it's Yoruba and his son and his grandchildren are going to partake in that freedom, what is he charging Yoruba for? So I think the idea is let everybody come, but let them come with truthfulness. Let them come with a measure of rational thinking. Let there be the kind of reckoning that we can say, this person has come truthfully and is serving truthfully. It didn't matter if anybody is locked up, and that is the truth. Tawolo was locked up. He was meant to spend 10 years, but Providence made it that he spent 3 years. Papa Debanjo was arrested by Abacha. And when he got to Abuja, he's demanded to see Abacha. And he looked at him straight in the face and said, look, you're a coward. Pick up a gun and shoot. I only owe you a bullet. We need people who can stand for the Yoruba nation, who are not going to be bragging about it. We need as many people as we can. If it's about groups, I welcome groups. But I don't want groups with pretentious and sanctimonious veneer of nothingness. If you have something to contribute, please come.
Thank you. So what do we need to do better on Igboho? When you said when we get there, it will happen. Is there any way so we can get there and get him
Even
out?
if we have, I won't advise that we say it here.
Okay.
I would like to respond to your two questions by stating that we obviously have too many groups, and the emergence of more groups is not very helpful at this stage. Most of the groups that we have emerging are either half-baked, ill-conceived, or lacking in some of the types of foundational credibility.
Somebody was actually asking me,
yes, that would make people want to identify with them. I haven't said that, however. I think that the existing groups need to re-examine themselves. And I find very lacking the type of interdependencies that we needed to have cultivated by now. Most of us who live in the diaspora, for instance, are very familiar with how indigenous communities operate and how those interdependencies is how they've been able to hold their own even in those countries. And when I look at us trying to get into this whole agitation, I just feel that those types of interdependencies are still grossly lacking. I look at this meeting we're having here today. I'm sure I know probably 10 to 20, if not more of those present. And we've had different opportunities to interact. We're all very passionate about these issues. But if we had to go back to look at how have we worked together, it hasn't been encouraging at all. And so I just make that point to say that if there is something we should take out of today's meeting, I think it is the realization that we have the solutions. However, we have to move from talking across to one another to being able to really have the kind of heartfelt dialogue where we will be able to agree that there's a lot that we can do to be able to create those structures that people will feel comfortable to want to identify with us. So that will be the message for the existing groups, that they don't close themselves to ideas from the outside, and that they realize that no matter how good they are right now, none of us is as smart as all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Alagba Tayo Gedengbe, half a minute. Kẹ́fì béèrè tẹ́ni ẹ ti fẹ́ béèrè látàárọ̀.
Mo fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Uncle Mogaji, and mo fẹ́ mọ̀, I know Afenifere has been around even before I was born. But mo fẹ́ mọ̀ pé kí ni age the youngest member Afenifere Lini? Kí ni age ẹ̀ nìyẹn?
Well, we have the guy who just joined us. He's been with us for 3 months and he's 24. In fact, he shocked us because from the state where he joined, he did something that we found very strange. He put in 10,000 naira into the account, and the leader said we should bring him out to come and attend the national meeting, and it was showcased. And his name is Gbode Awal. Gbode Awal. He's only 24 years old. Before now, Afenifere used to have a youth wing. The youth wing was dissolved in 1976 by Baba Awolowo, and we are thinking of resuscitating it. And it dissolved it for a good reason. As at that time, the youth wing, the leader was led by Fasomi, and the deputy youth leader is Professor Akintoye. It was Mr. Akintoye then. Professor Banji Akintoye was the deputy youth leader. But what happened was this: General Gowon had promised to lead the stage in 1973, he didn't. So in 1975, he now organized what was called the zero-party election into local government. And Baba Awolowo said none of the Afenifere members should participate in that zero party. That it was meant to help Gowon to transit from being a military ruler to a civilian ruler. And it was the members of the youth wing that flouted that order. And of course, 1976, General Gowon was removed, and part of the allegation was that he was going to transmute from being a military ruler to a civilian ruler. So Baba Awolowo scrapped the youth wing, but we are thinking of bringing it back. But anyone that is 18 years old is free to join Afenifere. But I know of Gbode Awal, and I'm mentioning his name.
Thank you.
Openly, and I can give Iyawa his number to call him.
No, there's no need, sir. To answer a question, the question to frame on the issue of relevance.
Okay.
And if Gbode is 25, and the last, the youth wing was abolished in almost 48 years ago, obviously that the Ajawo Iboromero, we know one thing, and we believe also you are, that's we are. Agbajowo Lafin Soya.
It interests you to know that I joined, I'm 60, and it interests you to know that I joined Afenifere.
So you are actually my age group, sir. You are actually maybe a couple of months older. It's all well and good.
I joined when I was 55.
Oh, that's beautiful. So we should carry our elders and the youth and our contemporaries along. The days when any group or a person would dictate to the highly intelligent, intellectual, and overly exposed Yoruba people is over. I'm going to do this for us.
Now, thank you, sir. Let's. Our time is fast spent. Thank you. You made all valid points. tó dẹ̀ mọ́gbọ́n wá gan. Thank you, sir. Bàbá Adébóyè, ẹni ìṣẹ́jú kan ni wọ́n sọ pé ẹni èmi kọ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé mi ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ láti máa fún yín time.
Ẹ ṣé olóòtú. Ohun tó ṣe pàtàkì lójú tèmi ó ní pé ká rántí pé èmi ni Afẹ́nifẹ́re ni o, èmi ni Àjàngbara ni o. There were a period of 30 years tí ò sí kan ní wọn tó lè operate because of military government. So ká má máa sọ pé ẹnìkan darúgbó níbì kan tí èrè ọ̀dọ́ níbẹ̀ láti ẹjọ́ yìí kò sí kankan fún kò sáàyè fún àtàgbà àtọ̀dọ́ until 1999 ká gbé yẹn kalẹ̀. Number 2, àtàfẹ́nifẹ́re ni o at any other people ni o, Yorùbá ní àòkè fárí lẹ́yìn olórí. Which one of you is actually engaged in the public education of the child? I'm not talking of schooling. I'm talking of political education,
public enlightenment,
human rights, understanding the structure in which we are living, explaining Omoluabi culture, and all the kinds of things that to make a young person grow up, not looking for money, not looking for this thing, but looking for peace and prosperity for the land. When are we teaching them civics, Yoruba patriotism? Which Egbe is doing that? I don't see any of them doing it. Therefore, central. Therefore, tabama papo. The idea to build a nation, to build a Yoruba nation rather than to build a Yoruba polity. Then you see, maybe that's what Mogaji is talking about.
Baba. Thank you so much. We said we are not going to stay long. We didn't. Mogaji eda kun emo binu. Èmi náà ni mo tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ foríjì mi. Ẹ ṣe wẹ́ látàárọ̀.
1 minute.
And then it happens.
Question, bí ó di 1 minute.
Iyawa, beba tún pè mí, màá wá. My parting shot is this. The OPC is the military wing of Afenifere. So, ẹ jẹ́ ká mú yẹn lọ sílé.
Okay. Ẹ ṣeun. Talo ẹ má tún béèrè mọ́ torí ọ̀nà.
OPC wọ́n ní bẹ́ẹ̀. Tó ń dun ló ń pọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀.
Gbogbo wa ò lè máa sọ̀rọ̀. Èmi ọ̀pá mi tó bá pé gbogbo wa mọ̀
lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀ ní Yorùbá. Ẹ jẹ́ ní sùúrù mà. Ẹ ní sùúrù mà. Láti yọ ṣé.
Èmi ò rẹ̀ ń tí ń sọ̀rọ̀. Èmi ò sì lè mọ̀ rẹ̀ ń tí ń sọ̀rọ̀. Bí n bá ń pa gbogbo kí ló kọ yín.
Ọ̀túnba Lábọ̀dé Òsèré ló ń sọ̀rọ̀.
Láti bolẹ̀ tí ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
Media presenters.
Níbo lẹ ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ Ìbàdàn àbẹ́kọ̀?
Ondo àbí London.
London ni.
London, you are 1 hour behind. This is 12:30 a.m. Èmi fẹ́ lọ sùn.
Ẹni sùúrù kẹ́ tí ó lọ Alàgbà Mọ́gàjí.
Àwọn lọ sùn, wọ́n ti débi látàárọ̀ ìṣẹ́jú àbọ̀jẹ́jú.
Ṣé gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà àtàwọn náà tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀? Ṣé kò sí pé àdìrí àti ìdarapọ̀ ká jẹ́ one front láti? Ṣé kò sú yín ni kò sú gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà wa yìí? Pé ká tiẹ̀ ti di one front ká lè máa sọ̀rọ̀ from one voice. Afẹ́nifẹ́re kan ìyànà pàjá ìyànà gbá ṣé kò tí yẹ ká ti dúró papọ̀ ní.
Ẹ ṣeun nílò ìyànà pàjá ọdún tẹ́lẹ̀ ní láàpọ̀ lọ.
Ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí nǹkan tó sọ́dà ìwọ náà bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Èmi ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ èmi ti ń fèmí.
Ṣé bàbá Mọ́gàjí fún ìwé ìdáhùn yẹn?
Ẹlẹ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ tẹ nọ́mbà yín sórí Yorùbá Gbòde. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Èmi àtẹ̀ fún yín nọ́mbà wọn kò ní ìdí.
Ẹ máa gbọ́.
Ìjọba ìlàfẹ́ pẹ̀lẹ̀ á ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ 40-70 years. À ń bìhé pípé most of us are retired àmọ́ tá à ń ṣe.
Ẹ máa gbọ́ ẹ tẹ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ.
Àìṣòdodo náà ni gbogbo ẹ̀ náà.
Ẹ dákun.
Àìṣòdodo ni.
Ọ̀dà nígbà tẹ́ni kankan bá lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ kọ̀ọ̀tàn èmi nìkan ni wọ́n lè sọ̀rọ̀ ní ìsìn. Ẹ dákun tí n bá ti mute yín ẹ jẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀. Tí n bá mute yín tẹ́ tún tẹ̀ á dàbí ẹni pé ẹ ń fọmọ kékeré àtobìnrin ẹ fi ń rẹ́ mi jẹ kò sì dáa bẹ́ẹ̀. Divine neurosacratics kí lẹ fẹ́ sọ fún wa sà ní ìtẹ́jú ààbọ̀ torí àti nkọrin ọjọ́ òní lọ tán.
Okay, my name is Dr. Bola Bello.
So looking at hearing whatever, I have just a comment and a question to Baba Mogaji. And now as a weeping, I want to buffer join come abo. I will be hearing this. I've attended a lot of meetings, and this is what I hear. This doesn't sound welcoming at all. Teba should be agbalagba, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ fẹ́ kó gbogbo Yorùbá, you know. Emma try can reach out. Okay, this is what we are going to do, and this is how we are going to. Oh yeah, Emma, boy, join what she bring everybody together. I just want to know, because I let you try. And what have you done to bring all these groups together? Because see, by bring all these groups together, we'll be flogging a dead horse. We are not going anywhere. Afenifere cannot make it, you know. Everybody is claiming supremacy, and it's not going to work. Please, let's face the fact. Let everybody do your job as the leaders of the Yorubas to bring everybody together. And I know you've been working a lot. You know, you are
Sorry, when did you join us? If you had joined us from the beginning, you will have heard that Afenifere will make the effort, because it has even been pronounced by Papa Adebanjo in a press conference. And I said again, people will not come together when they are thinking that they own the world and they own the business of freeing the Yoruba. People were on their own and believing that they own the struggle. What do you do at that time? You can't do much. You are asking us, the truth is, people join us based out of conviction. I'm not going to be forcing anybody to join us. There was a time that Oluwa Ogriwa joined one in 1999, and some who are not Afenifere became governors, and they turned against us. We don't want to make that kind of a mistake again. If you are not well embedded in the teachings of Papa Awolowo, then don't come to us. We are, like I said, we are not an amorphous group of all comers.
And Eshem sir, Anagbara, Anagboro, Ade Esekuku, Ade Onatojin. Modupelo Gbogbo, I'm very, very grateful to all the members of the panel. One thing that I wanted to point out, and I will make sure that I'm going to say this before I leave. We always talk about organization not doing the right thing or not doing things the way it's going to move us to progress. One thing that I learned is if an organization is open to everybody and you think you have an idea that is different and you think your idea is going to make them progress, to move them forward, why don't you go there and join them en masse? If we are not part of the solution, then we are part of the problem. So any organization that we think is supposed to do the right thing, but it's not doing the right thing, and we have the right idea, good idea, let us flock that organization, join them. If you join them en masse and you bring your ideas and you are many, they don't have a choice but to listen to you. So we can't be outside and complain, because we have to be part of it to make it happen.
Madam, I'm available to give my last word.
There's a young man called Dele Farotimi. He's everywhere. He has just joined Afenifere on his own. Dele Farotimi is with us now. He came, he interrogated us, and we told him this is it, and he joined us less than 3 months ago. So there are people like that who join us on a daily basis, but we must interrogate them. We even asked him, we gave him 2 of the books. Go and read them and come back, and let's talk. If you have any political ambition, please don't join us, because this is not what we do here. So there must be a way. Tinubu, for example, Primrose Lower, but Oba Mnadeko Wale, Onode to di Wahala Afenifere Lorun. If he had been tutored in the Awolowo way, he wouldn't have done what he did.
Madam Moderator, could I say my last?
If it's going to be half a minute, look at the time. We are past 6:35.
I would just like to thank everyone present here today, and I know we've had more than an intellectual dialogue here.
Yoruba.
No, we are speaking English because we have
but the last statement I'd like to make is the fact that our youth have to be around the table. I had a dialogue with my 30-year-old son yesterday, where I was trying to see how I could draw him into this and find out what ideas he had. And he was letting me know that his investment in Yoruba land and so on is not the same as mine in what I thought was a relatively detached way. And I really kind of felt sorry that I had not done my own job of letting him know why this is our common struggle. So the last thing I'd just like to add to this meeting is that it is very important that our youth are actively engaged, both in terms of the process and the ultimate product. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. On this note, I'm going to be signing off. I want to thank everybody for being here today and for spending this amount of time. I have few announcements to make. Yoruba Gbode Institute of Yoruba Language is starting their new semester next week. People who have obtained the form, make sure you do all the necessary things to be fully registered by Wednesday next week, so you can be part of the class if you wish to do so. We are always calling for donations because all the time we need money to bring this program to where we want it to be. We need money to pay every month. We need money to make sure that our Zoom keeps running. Please, please help us donate to Yoruba Gbode. Nothing is too small. And don't forget that the only way to donate is by using the Yoruba Gbode number 860-371-9367. Also, by the grace of Almighty God, I'm announcing new features that is going to make you enjoy Yoruba Gbode more. We are going to be having new insights that everybody will be able to participate, where we are going to get more news from home, and we are going to be able to deal with things that matter to Yoruba as a race on Yoruba Gbode. So this is my take from this. Everybody has to participate in Yoruba emancipation. Everybody has to work hard. You have to be part of that instrument that will bring Igboho Osha out of incarceration. We can do it. Why Sunday Adeyemo not released up till this moment? Who are behind all this? What can we deduce from our inability to get him out? Are we incapacitated? Now we have many Ajijagbara, but how much is our cooperation? What is this all about? All Egbe that is struggling to get us to Ile Ileri, please do more, or just pack up and join other Egbe that is doing better so we can get to the promised land. I'm very, very grateful to Magaji for always being there for Yoruba Gbode. I can't thank you enough. I'm very, very grateful. Anytime we call him, he is always there. I thank you so much. Ọgbọ́n yín kò ní dópin. Of course, my ẹ̀gbọ́n Amòye Adéníran Adébóyè, àwọn òníbi tí wọ́n lọ, àtẹ̀lé ni mọ́yà, Ọlọ́run ní padà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀yin náà, Oòduà ó gbè yín láṣẹ Olúwa. Everybody that has been here and has made their impact felt, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to Dr. Patrick Akimbola for always being there for Yoruba Gbode. Lawyer Olatayo Ogedengbe, Baba Mayowa Ogedengbe. We are going to give you new things this year on Yoruba Gbode, but please, let's make sure that we do this thing quick and go back home, because Monday is always day to work. I'm grateful to Dokita Omoba Oluwajana, all the way from Ile Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, always with Yoruba Gbode. Àjọṣe wa ò ní bàjẹ́, Baba Adébóyè fẹ́ bú yín, but I'm not going to unmute him. I'm going to keep him muted. Mo ti rí pé wọ́n ń wò mí, bóyá wọ́n sì fẹ́ bú yín nìyẹn. So I'm very, very grateful. On behalf of the entire Yoruba Gbode team, I'm very, very grateful. Ẹni tó fún ni lówó kò fẹ́ kébi ó pa ni. Ẹni fún ni nímọ̀ kò fẹ́ ká rìn lókun àìnímọ̀. Ẹni tó fún ni lọ́mọ kò jẹ́ kí á jàjẹrun bí iṣu. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yèyé mi o, Egbinọlá Adékúnbi. Àtúnwọ̀n ẹ̀dùn ló kọ́ mi láṣà àmújèrè àṣà. Ire ní mògùn ará alágbẹ̀dẹ ọmọ awórin tún rírọ. Ibi tó bá wà, ilẹ̀ rẹ ni. By the way, in 2 weeks, it's going to be 5 years that I became motherless. So thank you so much, and all Omo Ibadan, ẹ kú délé. We are going to meet next week. We have fantastic things that we have put in place that we are going to bring out from next Sunday. I'm very, very grateful to everybody. If you didn't have enough time to say everything that you wanted to say, come back on Sunday and we are going to be able to speak and talk more. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your love for Yoruba race. Ireo. I'm grateful to Otunba Falashade Olukoya too. I lost her at some point. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.